KCCR Sports. Pierre Baseball is brought to you by Kathy Sunshine Properties, Kruger Contracting, Bank West, Overhead Door, Stalkin Peterson LLP, Shane's Pharmacy, and Capital City Ford, Lincoln, and Toyota.
Swings and lines this into right center field. One run will come in to score. They will round the other runner. He will come to the plate. The throw not going to be in time. A two-run single for Parker O'Brien gives the Govs a 9-7 lead.
Here Baseball is also brought to you by American Family Insurance Brittany Scheffelbein Agency, CHS River Plains, Dakota Plains Federal Credit Union, Ferding Electric, Pierre Closets, Dakota Sprinkler and Landscaping, and AGE.
2-0 pitch. That will be a line shot into left center field. That's going to get down for extra bases, and it's going to score Terwilliger. That's one way to bust out of a slump. Sunshine round second. He's on his way to third. The throw will come in. He will slide in.
Baseball is also brought to you by Edward Jones Financial, Gales Gas, Lamb Motors, Xander Auto Parts, Comtech, Envirotech, First Dakota National Bank, Kruger Climate Systems, May Adam, and Hunsley Auto Body.
Here's the 0-2. Runner takes off. Terwilliger will sky this one out to center field. Out towards the wall. It is going to get out of here for a two-run shot for Cooper Terwilliger on an 0-2 pitch.
Here Baseball is also brought to you by Oahe Federal Credit Union, Kone, AirTech Heating and Cooling, Pierre Roofing and Gutters, Wagner Auto, the South Dakota Office of the Attorney General Division of Consumer Protection, and Todd's Electric.
2-0. It'll be a swinging base hit up the middle. Rounding third is Deal. The throw will come to the plate, but Deal slips and falls. The ball will still get away to the backstop. Deal will come in to score, and the Governors will win the ball game.
And now to the booth for the call of the game with KCCR award-winning sports director John Winkler.
And a good afternoon as we welcome you here to Hyde Stadium as we get set for first pitch between the Pierre Governors and the Spearfish Spartans. John Winkler alongside Blake Dean, as maybe now you can hear me a little bit there. I had turned the volume up for him on this headset. But it is the Governors and the Spearfish Spartans. We're going to get started a little bit early. There is some weather that they're already dealing with, and we're trying to be able to get through these two games, or at least the first game for sure, before any other weather comes through. But Blake, this Governor team, 10-game winning streak now. They're not wanting to stop this. No, the weather, they're not wanting anything to stop this winning streak right now for the Governors.
Yeah, they're playing really well, John, and they're coming in playing a Spearfish Spartan team here who is, statistically looks like a pretty solid bunch. As a team, they're hitting .222 on the season, and they're pitching-wise, they've maybe done. There's a few good arms that they've got on the squad as well, so we'll see maybe who they throw at the Pierre Governors. But really the story of this doubleheader is Pierre, 10-game winning streak. They're really coming into this game, or this set of games. Hopefully we get 2 games in, but playing really well, and that's really what you want to see if you're a Governor fan.
Well, the Pierre Governors here at home in a beautiful Hyde Stadium is trying to maybe battle the elements here this evening and trying to make sure that we can get these games in. But the Governors taking on the Spearfish Spartans here for a doubleheader in our first game coming up here just shortly. We'll take a break. We'll come back in 3 minutes, and we will have first pitch between the Pierre Governors and the Spearfish Spartans as you're listening to Pierre Governor Baseball on KCCR, and you're watching it on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
Building a home. It's the biggest investment most of us make in a lifetime. Not to mention, it's a decision that, you pretty much live with day and night. The quality of the workmanship stares back at you like a reflection. It also affects the value of your investment. Choosing the right contractor is critical. Kruger Contracting is that contractor. Call 222-2523. Quality workmanship and materials completed on time. Kruger Contracting. In a word, quality. Call 222-2523.
Capital City Ford, Lincoln, and Toyota and Pierre is proud to sponsor today's game. Whether you're in the market for a brand new Ford, Lincoln, or Toyota, or a quality pre-owned vehicle, our team is here to get you back on the road in style. From tough trucks to family SUVs, we've got the selection you need and the hometown service you deserve. Browse online anytime at CapitalCityFordToyota.com. Capital City Ford, Lincoln, and Toyota, where community drives us forward.
Hey you. Are you at a job that is fulfilling, has good benefits to support you or a family today, and retirement goes down the road? If you just said no, listen up. CHS River Plains is hiring operations personnel, drivers, and custom applicators at several locations. These come with a knockout affordable benefit package for you and the whole family. Apply to a job with CHS River Plains and up your benefits straight up. To apply, visit us online at chsriverplains.com or stop in at one of our locations. CHS is an equal opportunity employer.
Financial investments are very important, but so are the investments of time, patience, and encouragement our young athletes receive from their coaches, teachers, and mentors. Your Pierre area Edward Jones Financial Advisors understand this. That's why Edward Jones is a proud sponsor of Governor Athletics on KCCR. Go Govs! For all your investment needs, call or stop by one of our offices to visit with your Pierre area Edward Jones Financial Advisor. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Step up to the plate with Kathy Sunshine Properties in Pierre, your go-to for buying, selling, and finding your perfect home. Whether you're looking for a cozy cottage or a spacious family home, Kathy Sunshine Properties has you covered. We're committed to helping you make your next big move, on the field or in your life. Ready to find your dream home? Call Kathy Sunshine Properties at 605-224-5588. Your home run in real estate.
No one likes to have electrical problems, but when they happen, call Todd's Electric at 223-2518. With over 28 years of experience, Todd's Electric can handle any type of electrical problem, whether it's residential, commercial, or agricultural. Their knowledgeable staff knows and understands the importance of your home, business, or ag facility and are prepared to help. Call Todd's Electric at 223-2518. That's 223-2518. Todd's Electric, serving the Pierre and Fort Pierre areas. The line to power.
As we welcome you back, we are getting set for first pitch between the Pierre Governors and the Spearfish Spartans. John Winkler with you alongside Blake Dean as we get set for game one of our doubleheader. As you can see, the center field cam is in function right now, and we are ready to go for our first. And of course, it's going to rain here, but she's going to hate it, Blake. But my wife has done a really good job of helping out to make sure that electric generator is covered up and everything else, so we can keep all the equipment dry. Andy Furman built the birdhouse that's out there that's got the little extra overhang so it can sit there without having to get wet from one angle, and then she's helping out to make sure that it doesn't get wet on the other side of things. So really appreciate that she's coming in clutch for KCCR and definitely for me this evening.
Absolutely. For every good broadcaster, there is a broadcaster's spouse, and Kayla Winkler is one of the best, willing to do whatever necessary to make this a smooth broadcast. And obviously she's bringing her A game today as she's helping with the generator and the center field camera as well.
Every day. She brings the A game every day. It is Darren Crooks that'll lead things off as we are set and ready to go here from Hyde Stadium. The lights are turned on, getting started about 5 minutes earlier than projected for that 5 o'clock start. But glad you're with us here on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports. Will Danberg's first pitch is fouled away over to the third base dugout, and first pitch at 4:55. And 52 degrees here and rainy conditions to get us rolling for our first game of our doubleheader as Crooks steps in as he is so far hitting .389 for the Spearfish team, who won yesterday over Sturgis, as that one will miss low, and the count's now 1-1 here on the first batter of our game. Crooks is hitting .389, OPS at .964, 2 doubles, does have a home run, 7 runs driven in. At the leadoff spot, he's been one of the best hitters for Spearfish. That'll be a curveball that drops in for a strike, and the count's now 1-2 here to Crooks from Will Danberg. The starter will go through the starting lineup here in just a moment as well and get you all the everything that you need to get us rolling here for game number one. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That'll miss low and away. Not a bad pitch there from Danberg, and the count's now 2-2 to the leadoff man here in game one. That wind starting to blow a little bit more towards the left field foul pole from the American flag that's out in right center field. 2-2 pitch from Danberg. A chopper, slow roller up the right side. It is fielded by Danberg. Underhand flip to Bridger Babcock, and there is one down here to kick off the ball game. As we look at the Spearfish lineup, as it is Crooks that just hit, followed by Walker Weissman, the catcher. Jack Scharf, the shortstop, batting third. Sean Swell, the pitcher, batting fourth. Tucker Olson, the first baseman, will bat fifth. Connor Johnson, the right fielder, batting sixth. Tucker Weissman, the second baseman, batting seventh. And then it will be Brait Bauer, the third baseman, batting eighth. And Cooper Chase, the left fielder, is batting ninth for the Spearfish Spartans. As it is Walker Weissman, the step to the plate. Here is the first pitch to him, and that will be missing outside for ball one.
Yeah, Spearfish comes into this game, John, with a 4-9 record this spring. Wins over Sioux Falls, Washington, Gillette, Belfouche, and Sturgis. Have lost to Gillette twice, as there is a strike swinging from Weissman, from Danberg to Weissman, as it's now a 1-1 count. 2 losses to Gillette, a loss to Rapid City Central, who Pierre will see tomorrow, lost to Rapid City Stevens, lost in a doubleheader to Yankton. They've played Gillette 4 times, went 1-3 in those games, as that pitch is missed outside for a ball by Danberg, 2-1 now the count. They played Stevens a couple of times as well, and Huron. So mainly West River teams, and maybe even into Wyoming for Spearfish on their schedule, as we kind of expect. And so, 4-9 record coming in, as that one clips the bottom of the zone to make it a 2-2 count here from Danberg to Weissman in the top of the first.
We'll get you Will Danberg's stats and the rest of the defensive positioning here in just a moment as well for this Governor team, as the rain continues to fall here at Hyde Stadium in our first game of our doubleheader. Here's the 2-2 pitch. I want to miss low and away, and the count's now 3-2. And, anytime a game there is rain, it always makes the game a little bit more difficult. But when it's 50 degrees, that's just going to add on to the wind chill and make things a little bit colder, a little bit more difficult for everybody that's in the ball game. Here's the 3-2. That'll bounce in and be ball 4, and there's now 1 on and 1 out here in the top of the first. As we look at your Pierre defense, it is going to be Jackson Goodman out in left, Parker O'Brien in center, Aiden Johnson in right, Linda Kugel at third, Brecken Furman at short, Hudson Stosher at second, Bridger Babcock at first, and Sutton Sunshine behind the plate, with Will Danberg on the mound for this Governor team, as it is going to be after a 1-3 put out and a 1-out walk. Jack Scharf to the plate, as he waits on the first pitch and swings and misses for strike 1. So 1 on and 1 out here in the top of the first inning. As Scharf comes in, he is so far hitting on the season .324. He's got the team lead in runs scored, but he has 7 RBIs overall, and hitting number 3 in game 1 against the Governor Jr. Danberg. Here's the 0-1 pitch. After a long pause, Danberg will deliver. It'll be upstairs, and the count's now 1-1.
And Danberg will go through his stats too, John, coming into this outing, throwing 17 1/3 innings so far this year, which is 3rd on the team. He's started 4 games, pitched in 5. He's got a 2-1 record with a 4.42 ERA, a 1.5 WHIP, and a 250 batting average against, as that pitch misses outside in the left-handed batter's box for a 2-1 count here in this at-bat. To finish off Danberg's stats, he has a first pitch strike percentage of just over 51%, and has done a great job of limiting damage after a couple of rough starts to the year. Really come back strong here the last couple, as that pitch clips the bottom of the zone to make it a 2-2 count.
Danberg looking for his first strikeout. Runner at first, 1 away here in the top of the first, as you're listening to KCCR Pierre, a Riverfront broadcasting station. As we get started here in game 1 of our doubleheader here tonight on a Friday night at Hyde Stadium. 2-2. That'll bounce, and it will get away from Sutton Sunshine and over to second. We'll go the runner in Weissman, and now there's another full count. And a runner now on at second here with 1 away. Now we'll also see how our camera looks with the runner on at second getting a lead. Haven't been able to test everything yet.
First time for everything.
That's right. We'll see if that runner gets a big enough lead to avoid seeing where the pitch comes out or where it might be. As Weissman leads away from second, he'll get that secondary lead and get out of the way of the pitch coming in. There's a ground ball that is foul. and the count remains full at 3-2. It should work out okay, unless somebody's going to get a really slow, really bad lead at second base. Everything should work out well, even with the base umpire standing over, but he is off to the side of that strike zone as well. Here's another 3-2 from Danberg to Jack Scharf. This is skied foul out of play behind home plate, and another 3-2 pitch upcoming. And for Danberg, again, the good news for the Governors is that you look at this past Tuesday, Bryson Wallman threw 71 pitches, so he's available tomorrow to throw for the Governors, and Hudson Schaefer only threw 59 pitches, so he's already available today, and everybody else is available going in, so you want to see Danberg go deep into the game, but that 3-2 pitch will miss, and it's now first and second here with the one away, and a second walk issued by Danberg. Going to bring up the pitcher. But the biggest thing is that for Coach Rowie and this Pierre Governor team is that there's a lot of guys that are available, so if somebody does get in trouble, you're not really hand-tied from Tuesday's game by any means going into now today and tomorrow, but you'd love to start your 4-game weekend with a good pitching performance from one of your aces on the team in Danberg. Here's the first pitch to Sewell, the pitcher, and then the throw to third with a runner taking off. The ball is dropped by the third baseman, Lindekugel. Looked like he was going to be out, but Lindekugel looked like he slipped trying to catch the ball over at third. And there's now a runner at first and third. The other runner did not take off. So it's a ball, I believe it was a strike taken. And the count's 0-1. But a stolen base for Weissman over at third now, and there's runners at the corners. As Sewell will look to help his cause here at .250 batting average. Pitch to him. That one's fouled at the plate off to the right side. I believe the count's now 0-2 here to the pitcher. Sewell, pitcher versus pitcher. Will Danberg is actually leading off for the Governors, so he is a pitcher at the leadoff spot for Pierre.
So Shohei Ohtani.
Basically, yeah.
I think we've said both times that Will Danberg has pitched, we've called him Ohtani.
Well, he's got
At home, anyway. I've called him that.
Pitch and hit like Ohtani. Runner takes off. That'll be fouled to the plate, and the count remains at 0-2.
And I was thinking that maybe we'd see Scharf take off from first base on a pitch because they're maybe going to try and manufacture a run is Spearfish, especially in these conditions. You want to try and manufacture anything you can, as the count is now 0-2 here from Danberg to Sewell.
Trying to keep this a scoreless game here at the top of the first. 0-2 pitch. Runner not taking off. That one taken for strike 3. And a big strikeout there for Danberg, and there's 2 down, and now the Governors can go get that final out anywhere. Don't have to turn 2 to get out of the inning without any runs scoring. Just get that next out. And it's Tucker Olson to the plate. 23 pitches, be pitch number 24 here for Will Danberg here in the top of the first inning. But Tucker Olson to the plate. 161 batting average right now. 2 runs driven in. All of his hits have been singles. Here's the first pitch. Runner takes off. The pitch is high. The throw will go to second. It is going to skip up, and Furman unable to get the tag applied, and the runner will be safe at second.
Looked like Stoscher was crashing just to prevent the takeoff of third from Weissman. And so I don't know if Sonnenschein was maybe looking to hit Stoscher, but a good backup by Furman nonetheless to stop the throw from getting into center field.
Here's the 1-0. There's a good block there by Sonnenschein, and the count's now 2-0. Yeah, that play coming in, Stoscher's moving in, watching that runner at third, and if he takes off, he cuts it off and fires it home. If not, then Furman's got to be ready to make the catch with that ball still going all the way through to second to try and tag him out. It was a little bit wide of the bag, which allowed Scharf to end up stealing second. Here's the 2-0. This will be skied up on the left side over towards that foul line. Jackson Goodman getting over to it. He'll make the catch, and that will retire the side. And Will Danberg gets around the 2 walks in the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 2 men left on base. We head to the bottom of the first as the Govs will come to the plate. No score between Pierre and Spearfish. Back in a minute on KCCR, and you're watching it on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
Looking for your next new or used car, truck, or SUV? Then go no further than the comfort of your own home. Shop online at lambmotor.com. On lambmotor.com, you'll find the vehicles Lambs has in stock. You can schedule a test drive or your vehicle's next tune-up all online. New or used, shop for it all online anywhere you are. Lamb Motor has the right vehicle for you. Lamb Motor in Oneida and online, lambmotor.com.
Step up to the plate with Overhead Door Company of Pierre. Like your favorite team, we deliver reliability, strength, and top-notch performance. For over 100 years, Overhead Door has been the most respected name in the industry. From commercial or residential repairs to full upgrades, our team of technicians stand ready to provide winning results. Don't let a faulty garage door strike you out. Look for the signature red ribbon and call the industry MVP at 605-224-6200. Bring your garage door game to the big leagues.
As we welcome you back, it is scoreless in the bottom of the first as we look at the Pierre Governor lineup. John Wickler alongside of Blake Dean. It is Will Danberg to lead things off. He is the pitcher. Jackson Goodman batting second and playing left. Sutton Sonnenschein, the center fielder, is batting third. Lyndon Kugel is the cleanup man. He is the third baseman. Parker O'Brien, the center fielder, is batting fifth. Bridger Babcock, the first baseman, batting sixth. Aiden Johnson, the right fielder, is batting seventh. Hudson Stocherbass, eighth. He is the second baseman. And Brecken Furman rounds out the lineup. I spelled his name wrong on that batting order. But Brecken Furman is batting ninth, and he is the shortstop here for the Governors in Game 1 of our doubleheader. And defensively for the Spearfish Spartans, we'll get that up there as the Sewell is still getting his warm-up tosses. Out and left is Cooper Chase. In center is Darren Crooks. Right field, Connor Johnson. Over at third is Bray Bauer. At shortstop, it is Jack Scharf. The second baseman, Tucker Weissman. The first baseman, Tucker Olson. The catcher is Walker Weissman. And doing the pitching is Sean Sewell as we get set for the bottom of the first inning. And it is for the Governors. Going to be Will Danberg to lead things off. Carter Shufflebine, Porter Hunsley, and Jaron Deal, three of those guys that you see, at least for Shufflebine and Hunsley for sure, but Deal has played just about at least every other game, if not more. But those guys not here today. They will be back and playing tomorrow against Rapid City Central. Here's the first pitch to Will Danberg upstairs for ball one. Here in the bottom of the first, as Danberg, he comes in hitting .368. All of his hits have been singles so far. 5 runs driven in, 7 runs scored. Quality at bat percentage at near 58%. He's hitting .600 with runners in scoring position. That one will miss inside. The count's now 2-0. Look at Sewell's stats here on the year. 16 innings. He is tied for the most innings, actually second on most innings. This will be his 5th start of the year, as it's now a 3-0 count, that one missing upstairs. He's a 2-1 record, 14 hits, 12 runs, 8 of those have been earned. He has 12 walks, 20 strikeouts, a 3.5 ERA, 1.63 whip, and a batting average against at .219. As that will miss for ball 4, and it's a 4-pitch walk to lead off the bottom of the first, and it will bring up Jackson Goodman to the plate. And we'll see, I believe Danberg is going to run. Nope, he's not going to run for himself. They'll have the courtesy runner, and it will be Will Eilers that will be the courtesy runner for him over at first base.
Yeah.
So, and especially in a game like this, the way the temperature is, the way the weather is, Danberg's quick. He's one of those guys that has been very successful in the tracks in field season already, as there's a throw over and back in safely without a tag, is Eilers. But you being the pitcher, you want to make sure that all your energy is spent throwing strikes here in Game 1. Here's the first pitch to Jackson Goodman. Is upstairs for ball 1.
Well, and to that point, you want to make sure that you're doing that, but at the same time, you could be running the bases and put yourself at larger risk for injury, whether it's a pulled hamstring or somebody, cleats you as you're sliding into a base, something like that. So smart by the Governor coaching staff to have a courtesy runner in Will Eilers run for Will Danberg here as after the base on balls to lead off the inning, as strike was taken there Jackson Goodman here hitting second against Sewell.
Counts 1-1 to Jackson Goodman. And for Goodman so far on the season, he is hitting .435. It's now a 2-1 count here to Goodman. That one missing the strike zone. Goodman, .435 batting average. The OPS is over 1,002. Slugging percentage at .522. Another pickoff attempt and back in safely as Eilers again. He's got 2 doubles, 3 runs driven in, 5 runs scored, and he is hitting .500 with runners in scoring position. Is Jackson Goodman. Here is the 2-1 pitch from Sewell. That's over for a strike, and the count is now even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nobody out, 1 on here in the bottom of the first between Pierre and Spearfish, game 1 of our doubleheader.
Be interesting to see if Danberg gets a decent-sized lead as another pickoff is made over to first base. If he maybe takes off here, try to test the arm of the Spearfish catcher.
Here's the 2-2 now upcoming here to Goodman. That's off the handle. It's going to be a 2-hopper to the shortstop, and it dropped in front of Scharf, and he was unable to make the play on it. And that'll be the first error of the ball game from either side. And his first and second here with nobody out. Would have probably been a tough play, but Scharf will end up with the error, and it's now first and second, nobody out, and it brings up Sutton Sunshine to the plate. The catcher here for the Governors, who has, I believe, caught every inning so far for this Governor team. And he is hitting .300 with 2 doubles, 3 triples, 14 runs driven in. That is the team lead with those 14 RBIs. And a batting average with runners in score position at .259. And he will hit with a runner in score position here in the bottom of the first inning with nobody out and 2 men on. Here's the first pitch from Sewell as he checks the runner at second, delivers, and that will be at the bottom of the zone for strike 1.
It'd be interesting to see the Spearfish first baseman in Olson is really playing shallow, maybe expecting a bunt, but I would be surprised if Sunshine lays one down here with nobody out in the bottom of the first.
Sewell will come set again here from the stretch. Here's the 0-1. There's a line shot to left, and that will be caught by the left fielder in chase. Diving back is going to be Eilers to make sure that he wasn't doubled off. And there is now 1 down on a hard hit ball by Sutton Sunshine, but 1 away, and still runners at first and second.
Yeah, good piece of hitting there by Sutton. Lining one, line drive shot. Just happened to be right at the left fielder in chase. Good job by Eilers not getting too far off of second base, able to dive back in safely. So 1 out here in this bottom of the first, and that will bring up the scorching Trip Lindekugel to the plate.
.586 average for Lindekugel, 1.443 OPS for Lindekugel. He was a home run shy of the cycle in game 1 against Huron this past Tuesday, as the first pitch is at the knees for strike 1. He's got 3 doubles, a triple, and 4 runs driven in. He's 17 hits, but only 4 RBIs. He hasn't been able to hit with a lot of guys in score position, it feels like. Even though he has been hitting cleanup lately, Sunshine's kind of taking care of all those RBI opportunities for him. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That'll come inside, but it was able to find the zone, and the count's now 0-2. And Lindekugel is down quickly in the count. As Sewell, after the leadoff walk and error, is trying to get these next 2 guys retired and put himself in a better spot here in the bottom of the first inning.
Yeah, the leader on the team in RBIs is actually Sutton Sunshine, 14, followed by Parker O'Brien with 13, as that pitch misses upstairs.
But it is a balk that is called.
So that would go down technically as a no pitch then, correct?
Yeah, but it'll still be 0-2 and just a balk.
Correct.
To the pitcher, Sewell. He did not come set. I think Coach Rowley, a couple pitches before that had, or maybe it might not have been Coach Rowley, it might have been just someone from the coaching staff from Pierre, had said something about him not coming set. And then this time he ends up not coming set, and they call the balk on him, and the count's remaining at 0-2, but now runners are at second and third. And this is going to be a slow roller up the third base line, but it will roll foul. And it remains an 0-2 count here for the Governor 8th grader, which just don't say that very often.
No. Last time we were saying that at a varsity level was when Cooper Terwilliger was playing for the Legion team.
Yeah, and we can at least say he's a rising freshman at that point.
Yeah.
Here, he's still got another month to go before he's going into high school.
Yep.
Yeah, there's not been a lot of guys that have been able to do that playing baseball. I think Carter Sanderson was a rising freshman to play with Legion baseball, senior Legion baseball. Here's the 0-2 pitch. There's a sharp ground ball that is through the left side for a base hit. One run will come in to score. They'll hold the other runner up at third, and it's an RBI single for Linda Kugel, and it's a 1-0 lead for the Governors here with the one out in the bottom of the first inning. Good piece of hitting there for Linda Kugel. Hit that ball hard right on the nose, right through the third and short gap for a base hit.
Yeah, and to your point, John, the two guys that you mentioned previously, or that we mentioned previously, I guess, in Terwilliger and Sanderson, both professional athletes. So good.
We hope that Terwilliger.
Well, right. Well, technically he will be.
Technically, with the NIL stuff, yeah, he's going to make some good money with NIL. And Sanderson already being drafted by the Penguins, but still playing, as that pitch will miss high, playing for the Muskegon Lumberjacks. They're playing game 3 and 4 tonight and tomorrow. Although Sanderson not playing with an injury this weekend, but he did say he would be available to play in Game 5, that best-of-5 series, if it goes to that point. As that one is taken for a strike to Parker O'Brien, the count's now 1-1. Runners are at first and third. There is only one out here in the bottom of the first. Eilers is over at third. No, excuse me, Goodman's over at third. Eilers scored on the base hit by Linda Kugel, and Linda Kugel just dove back in safely at first on the pickoff attempt.
That was Tripp's 5th RBI of the year.
Here's the 1-1 now to O'Brien. There's a fly ball to center field. Backing up is the center fielder Crooks. Goodman will tag. He will try and come in to score. The throw, that's not even going to come to the plate. And it's a 2-0 lead of the sac fly RBI for Parker O'Brien. And for O'Brien, that's his 14th RBI, which ties the team lead in RBIs now as he picks it up with that base hit, or at the sac fly. And there's now 2 down here in the bottom of the first and a 2-0 lead for Pierre.
And Bridger Babcock coming to the plate. Bridge has a 286 batting average. He is slashing 286, 375, 286 for a 661 OPS. 6 hits, all of them singles, 3 RBI, and 6 runs for Bridger. 3 walks, 5 strikeouts so far on the year, as that pitch was at the top of the zone for strike 1 from the pitcher in Sewell to Babcock, with now just Linda Kugel on first base.
That one will miss low, as that one is picked up by the catcher Weissman. Make that Walker Weissman, Tucker Weissman playing over at second base. Looks like the rain has stopped here at Hyde Stadium, which would be love to have through the rest of the whole entire evening. And I say that, but we you know, the outside the baseball world right now, we desperately need rain here in Pierre and Fort Pierre and everywhere here in central South Dakota. So maybe if we can just get a dome right over the top of Hyde Stadium, it can rain everywhere but on top of Hyde Stadium
on the
right
ball
now.
diamond, yeah.
2-1 pitch. That'll be fouled out of play, and the count is now at 2-2. It can stay, you know, in the stands, so everybody can stay dry watching the game too, and not, you know, I mean, obviously they can be because everybody's behind home plate right now in the grandstand with the cover. But it can rain anywhere else, everywhere else, just not right on Hyde Stadium right now, if we can only get that lucky. Here's a 2-2 pitch to Bridger Babcock. He'll swing and miss, but the ball will get to the backstop, and everybody will be safe. So the inning will continue. It's a strikeout and a drop third strikes, and it's first and second here with 2 away in the bottom of the first inning. And it brings up now Aiden Johnson to the plate.
Johnson slashing 182, 250, 364 for an OPS of 614. 2 hits, a single, and a triple for Johnson. 3 RBI, 3 runs, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. So an opportunity here for Johnson to hit with a runner in scoring position with 2 outs in Linda Kugel at second.
Here is the first pitch to Johnson. That'll be fouled off the top of the bat. And it rolls its way to the right side over to the first base dugout. And the count's 0-1. This is the 7th man to come to the plate. A walk in air, a base hit RBI, sac fly RBI, then a strikeout, drop third strike that allows the inning to continue. Runners are at first and second here with 2 away in the bottom of the first and a 2-0 lead. This will be fouled right back to the netting, and the count is now at 0-2.
And you never want to give good teams multiple outs, or extra outs, I guess I should say. And Spearfish is doing just that on the drop third strike. allowing the inning to continue and extend here to Johnson.
And then also the air, too. That's two. You're giving five outs this first inning for Pierre, and that's not going to help you win a lot of baseball games. And this is popped up in foul territory, and it will land near the first base dugout. No chance for the catcher and Weissman to go run after it. And the count remains at 0-2.
Well, and then on top of that, another free base to start this inning as well, with the base on balls to Danberg to lead it off. So 3 opportunities for Spearfish to get outs here in this top of the first, and failing to do so to close out the inning.
Yeah, if Johnson can hit one down the line or in the gap somewhere, you could see 4 runs score on just 2 hits in this inning for the Governors. With that walk, error, and drop third strike, allowing base runners to get on without even having to put the ball in play. Well, I guess 2 of the 3 didn't put the ball in play. 0-2 pitch, grounded up the middle, be fielded by the second baseman. Weissman will flip to second to Scharf to retire the side, and that will put an end here to the bottom of the first inning. But 2 runs will score on 1 hit, 1 error, and 2 men left on base. 1 complete here at Hyde Stadium, and it's a 2-0 lead for the Pierre Governors after 1. Back in a minute on KCCR. You're watching it on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
People helping people.
Have you ever wondered what the benefits are of becoming a Owyhee Federal Credit Union member? At Owyhee Federal Credit Union, we reinvest profits in you. We do this in the form of lower interest rates, higher dividends, and low to no fees. So come check us out or come in at 221 East Pleasant Drive in Pierre, because at Owyhee Federal Credit Union, we treat our members like they own the place because, well, they do.
Owyhee Federal Credit Union.
With any dream, the wind won't always be at your back, the sun won't always be shining, and some rain is going to fall. American Family Insurance is like a good, solid roof that you can trust to protect your biggest dreams. With plans that could save you up to 23% when you bundle your home and auto. Also, you can continue to dream fearlessly, no matter what comes your way. American Family Insurance.
Visit mfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company assigned its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Contact the Brittany Shufflebind Agency, LLC, 224-6627. As we welcome you back, it is the bottom of the second, and it is a 2-0 lead in the American Family Insurance Brittany Shufflebind scoreboard for the Pierre Governors over the Spearfish Spartans in Game 1 of our doubleheader. John McClure alongside Blake Dean, as the Govs got those 2 runs on that 1 hit and along with an error, and the 2 men left on base. As, again, the rain has subsided for a little bit. They're still looking like there could be more rain coming, and they were starting to put the tarp on as we were getting going. If you're watching YouTube immediately when we got started, you could see that the tarp was about to be placed on top of the mound, and they said, "Now forget it. Let's move it away and let's play some baseball and making sure let's try and at least get 1 game in." Not saying that we won't play both, but I think the second game starts to be a little bit more of a question mark with what could be coming through and the way the temperatures are as the night progresses. But it is going to be 6, 7, and 8. Connor Johnson, Tucker Weissman, and Bray Bauer, the first 3 hitters here for the Spearfish Spartans. And the first pitch is a swing and a miss for strike 1 to get us started here at the top of the second. And then, tomorrow is a different story as well, and it might depend on how much kind of falls tonight and how tomorrow looks. I don't think the rain will be a factor as much tomorrow as it could be tonight, but when it's 50 degrees and a little bit or 40-some degrees, there's a little bit more of a question mark on playing baseball in some of this weather.
Yeah, absolutely. This is, very typical for spring weather in South Dakota, especially April weather. Very kind of chilly, 50 degrees as that pitch is bounced in front of the plate for a 2-1 count here. Chilly, rainy, and not overly fantastic for baseball necessarily, or really any outdoor activity for that matter, apart from if you're maybe doing like a rain dance or praying for rain or something to that effect. But, that would be probably the extent of it, because this is very ideal for farmers and just about everybody except for the athletes that are playing in these conditions right now, as it's now a 3-1 count here to Johnson.
3-1 pitch upcoming here from Will Danberg to Connor Johnson with the leadoff man here at the top of the second. 3-1 pitch upstairs for ball 4. And it will be a leadoff man on base to kick off the top of the second. Yeah, we also broke a record high on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And then now we have this here, not basically 48 hours later. And yesterday was an okay day. I mean, it was nice temperature-wise. They were able to get the track and field meet in. They were able to play tennis. It just wasn't necessarily ideal with the wind. But they were able still to participate in sports. And we're still doing that today, but it's just a little bit less. Like, they definitely made the right decision moving it from Friday to Thursday. Here's a ground ball. Diving play by Babcock over at first. He will step on the bag, and there's one down here in the top of the second inning. What a play by Bridger Babcock, making sure the first out was had. Not trying to force it to second, maybe try and turn two. He got one for sure out, and a huge play for Babcock over at first base.
Yeah, Weisman hit that square on the button and was kind of an inside-out swing as he's a right-handed hitter and hit it right at Babcock. Babcock makes a nice play, diving to his right, making the stop. And to your point, he didn't even need to flip it to Danberg to get the first out. He wasn't worried about the lead runner with a 2-run lead, just made sure to get the first out unassisted to make it a first out, as now there's a bunt.
Here's a bunt attempt. Nobody's over at first, and it will be safe. Everybody is safe, and it's going to be first and third here with the one away. Stosher was late getting over to the bag at first. Babcock was coming in. Maybe miscommunication on who should have been at the bag over at first base. But it's now either way, first and third with one down and an infield single for Bray Bauer. And it brings up now Cooper Chase, the left fielder, the number 9 man, to try and make this a 2-1 game quickly. But the ground ball up the middle can get you quickly out of this inning.
And it possibly allows the inning to extend if they're not able to turn a double play to Crooks, who's the leadoff man for Spearfish and easily the best hitter on the team.
First pitch is over for strike one. Here to Cooper Chase.
Scharf could make a case for that, I suppose, but I would say it's definitely Crooks and Scharf, the top 2 hitters for the Spartans.
Here's the 0-1 pitch from Danberg to Chase. Swing and a miss, and the count's now 0-2. By the way, did not we have the ability for replay, did not get the replay down for that diving play by Bridger Babcock. Didn't have it, I getting it set up, but it had the wrong, would have had the wrong thing recorded, so it just been a black screen. So unable to get the replay, unfortunately, for the Babcock diving play. Here's the 0-2 pitch. That'll miss low and away. And the count's now 1-2. It is first and third. Bauer is over at first, and he has not seemed to want to steal quite yet. And this would be a fun time for a strike him out, throw him out here to get out of this top of the second inning. Here's the 1-2. Ground ball over to the second baseman, Stosher. Flip to Furman for one. He struggled to get the ball out of the glove. The throw to first is not going to be in time. He is safe over at first, and that little hesitation for Furman, unable to get the ball out of the glove quickly and right on time, and it turns into a fielder's choice, and it's now a 2-1 game with a runner on at first and 2 outs.
Yeah, that was a tailor-made double play. Ground ball hit with some speed to Stosher at second. Nice flip to Furman. Furman, like you said, just a little bit not able to transfer the ball cleanly from the glove to the hand. Maybe the conditions had something to do with that, possibly, but regardless, runner's able to beat it out. Spearfish does score a run on the play, fielder's choice in the books, and it's now a 2-1 ball game with 2 outs, and Crooks coming to the plate. Fouled that one to the backstop on the curveball from Danberg for strike one.
So an 0-1 count. Darren Crooks, he grounded out to the pitcher Danberg, a 1-3 put out to start the ball game. As Blake mentioned, 2-1 now our score on the American Family Insurance Brittany Shufflebind scoreboard. Here's the 0-1 from Danberg to Crooks. Long pause and looks over the runner at first. Runner takes off. The throw to second will skip one hop, but they got the tag. They got it down in time. They do, and he is out trying to steal second, and that will retire the side here in the top of the second. 1 run scores on 1 hit in the inning. There are no errors and no one left on base. We head to the bottom of the second. It is a 2-1 lead for Pierre over Spearfish. Back in a minute on KCCR. Watching it on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
Spring is the season for a fresh start, and that includes your technology. Whether you are looking to upgrade or need to breathe new life into your current device, Comtech is your one-stop solution. Experience the brilliance of LG OLED TVs, the immersive sound of Sonos and JBL, or the unmatched performance of Lenovo laptops. Buy with confidence thanks to our price match guarantee and 0% interest on selected purchases. We're your locally owned technology experts on the truck bypass. Comtech, we sell the best and fix the rest.
Koenig of Oneida, Pierre, and Winter has provided our services to growers of South Dakota for over 50 years. We focus on providing our customers with the products, services, and attention to detail that each farmer needs to succeed. For your individual needs of custom spraying, liquid or dry fertilizer, chemical, soil sampling, seed sales, and treating, stop in and see us at Koenig with offices located in Oneida, Pierre, and Winter.
As we welcome you back, it is the bottom of the second, and it is a 2-1 lead on American Family Insurance. Brittany Shufflebine scoreboard for the Pierre Governors over the Spearfish Spartans. 8-9-1, Hudson Stosher, Brecken Furman, and Will Danberg. Anybody reaches base, it'll go to Jackson Goodman. As the Governors will try and get that one run back here in the bottom of the second inning, as the first pitch to Stosher is fouled at the plate for strike one. As Stosher comes in, he is hitting so far this season 200. All 8 of his hits have been singles. 4 runs driven in so far, 10 runs scored. He is one of 5 different players that have scored 10-plus runs now for this Governor team. Overall, Pierre scored 123 runs, 94 RBIs on 123 runs scored. Governors hitting .309 as a team. That batting average keeps moving up, and now over 300 as a team, which is a really good mark to be at. 0-1 pitch is a ground ball to the left side. Charging is Sharp, the shortstop. His throw to first on the run just beats Stosher. And the leadoff man is retired here to kick off the bottom of the second inning.
Nice play by Sharf. You see why he's playing shortstop for the Spartans as he comes in on that ball, charges in, makes a nice play, transfers it from the glove to the hand, and is able to flip it across to first to Olson for the first out of the inning, and that'll turn the lineup over back to Will Danberg here in the bottom of the second.
Like that's Brecken Furman that will hit.
Oh, excuse me. Sorry. I was thinking.
Danberg is on deck.
Okay. Sorry, Breck. Didn't mean to shortchange you.
Here's the 1-0 pitch. That'll miss low, and the count's now 2-0. Furman's hitting .211 so far, 4 of 19 in the season. He has driven in 5 runs and scored 6 times. Quality at-bat percentage at 58% for Brecken Furman. That'll be on the inside edge for a strike, and the count's now 2-1. He gets to start at shortstop, probably will be the shortstop in game 2. We've seen Shufflebine and Furman pretty much be exclusively over at shortstop so far on this spring season. That one's fouled back, and the count is now at 2-2. And Brecken Furman also one of those guys that had a big role for the Hawaii Capitals varsity team as a freshman and really been a big boost to, again, the future of what Pierre Athletics will be. Here's a ground ball through the right side and a base hit for Furman. And it's a one-out single for Brecken Furman. He's 1 for 1, and the lineup will turn over now to Will Danberg. Second hit of the ball game for the Govs.
That raises Furman's average up to 250 on the season as he's now 5 for 20, all 5 of his hits being singles. And Will Danberg comes to the plate. Base on balls his first trip up, and now he's batting with a runner on first. And 1 out here in the bottom of the second as Sewell toes the rubber for the Spartans.
Danberg, here's a pickoff attempt. He's just back in safely as Furman over at first base. I think one of the things, too, is we saw the steal from Cooper Chase, and he was thrown out as Furman will take off. Danberg will sky it out to center field. Furman will have to go back to first as the center fielder and Crooks will make the catch, and there's now 2 down. And the point I was just about to make kind of seemed with what Furman almost getting a second. He stopped and slipped immediately as Jackson Goodman will come to the plate with 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. Might be a little bit harder to steal bases here, a little bit harder to get your footing. While it hasn't rained a lot, it has made that dirt a little bit softer and a little bit harder to get your footing as the first pitch to Goodman will miss low for ball 1. And again, maybe Chase got a little bit of a bad jump on that steal of second where he was thrown out, and easily thrown out at second trying to steal, that those, it might just be a little bit more difficult to take an extra base and to, wherever that might be, a steal or going from first to third on a base hit or trying to score from second on a base hit in the outfield here today. Here's the 1-0 pitch here to Jackson Goodman. That'll be at the top of the zone for a strike, and it evens the count at 1-1. He reached on an error the first time he came to the plate for Goodman. He's trying to extend this bottom of the second here to the number 3 man in Sun and Shine. And Sewell is looking to get through this second inning, keep his team down by just 1. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Goodman. This will be off the hands and fouled out a play on the right side. And the count is now 1-2. And Sewell looking for his second strikeout, but trying to retire his first man on a strikeout after Bridger Babcock reached base on a drop third strike back in the bottom of the first inning.
Going back to your point earlier, John, Pierre very aggressive on the base paths so far early this season. 38 stolen bases as a team. But to your point, with the rain being what it is, might slow the conditions down and slow down the track, so to speak, and keep guys from stealing when they normally would.
Runner takes off for a second, ground ball to the third baseman, fielded by Bauer. The throw to first will be in time to retire Goodman, and that will end the bottom of the second inning. No runs, a hit, no errors, and a man left on base. We head to the top of the third, a 2-1 lead for Pierre over Spearfish. Back in a minute on KCCR, and you're watching it on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
Long-standing rivalries, or is it seeing friends again and cheering on your favorite team? At First Dakota, we're here for it all. We appreciate the fans, the players, the coaches and officials, the concessions crew. The shared community experience is part of what makes life here great, and we're here for it. See you at the game. First Dakota National Bank, member FDIC.
For over 60 years, Ferding Electric has been powering homes and businesses across central South Dakota. When you need reliable electrical service, trust the experts with decades of experience. Whether it's a simple residential repair, a complex commercial installation, or even electrical work on your farm, Ferding Electric has you covered. And if you're tired of searching everywhere for that hard-to-find bulb, Ferding Electric carries a wide selection of bulbs, including those hard-to-find fluorescent and specialty options. Visit us at 2903 East Elizabeth Street or call today, 605-224-8684.
As we welcome you back, it is the top of the third, and it is a 2-1 lead for the Pierre Governors on the American Family Insurance Brittany Shufflebein scoreboard over the Spearfish Spartans. As John Wickler alongside Blake Dean here in our first game of our doubleheader. Will Danberg on the mound working into his top of the third inning. He will deal at the top of the order. Darren Crooks will come back to the plate. He was left standing there whenever Cooper Chase was thrown out trying to steal second to finish out that top of the second inning. It is Crooks, Weissman, and Scharf, the first three hitters here for Spearfish. The Spartans have played 4 dates this week, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and now Friday, although they had a couple of one-day games against both Rapid City Central and Sturgis. They played a doubleheader on, I said Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and the only doubleheader was against Gillette. First pitch, a swing and a miss for strike one. And mentioned that this is the tightest of games for the Governors in terms of 6 games over 4 days. And so when you played Huron on Tuesday, you had a little bit in the back of your mind of how you wanted your pitching to line out for Friday and Saturday, although you just want to make sure you get wins. And then Bryson Wallman only has to throw 6 innings. He throws 71 pitches, so he becomes available for Saturday. Hudson Schaefer throws 59 pitches in a 5-inning game, so he's available even today and tomorrow. So you lost 0 pitching basically for the weekend, as that pitch will miss low for ball 1. And the count's now 1-2 here to Darren Crooks to lead off the top of the third. But that's big. I mean, when you start, not that the Governors are thin on pitching, they've got a lot of guys that can throw for them, and even guys that maybe haven't thrown a lot that still can be throwing for them. But it's big to keep all your guys available. There's a swing and a miss from Crooks, a strikeout for Danberg, his second strikeout, and the leadoff man retired to kick off the top of the third inning, and it brings up Walker Weissman.
Well, and I think to that point, the coaching staff has done a fantastic job, from Coach Scott Rowie all the way down, of managing pitching pretty well and allowing guys to, not get too stretched out, so they have the full, stable of arms, so to speak, especially being that the schedule is as condensed as it is right now.
There's a swing and a miss for strike one. Weissman drew a walk. He was over at third before he was left stranded. The 4 and 5 guys were retired that top of the first inning for the Govs to get out of it without any runs scored. Here's the 0-1 pitch now from the right-hander Danberg. That one is fouled at the plate. Counts quickly 0-2. And Danberg looking for another strikeout here of now Weissman. Again, lights are on here at Hyde Stadium. Rain started. Looks like it has stopped. Hopefully, and again, I use that word cautiously of hopefully it doesn't rain, because we need the rain everywhere. Hopefully it doesn't rain on Hyde Stadium. That's exactly what I'll say. 0-2 pitch is popped out towards shallow left field. Coming in is Goodman to make the catch as he calls off Furman, along with also Lindekugel. And there's now 2 down here in the top of the third inning, and it brings up the number 3 man of Jack Scharf.
That was either a really good read by Goodman in left field, or he was playing really shallow because he was basically camped under that. I thought that had a chance to maybe be a Texas Leaguer single. Either that or he's really fast, one of the 3. But he was basically camped under that as he's able to put it away for out number 2 here in the top of the third.
First pitch is over for strike one. We've established up here in the press box that if that was you out in left field, you can get rid of the "you're not fast."
Oh, that would have fallen easily. There's no chance.
You would have had to have the perfect jump on it.
Yeah.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. That'll miss low and away. The count's now 1-1.
I bet you didn't know that was my position, was left field.
Was left field?
Yeah.
They put you there because you weren't fast?
Mm-hmm. I had no arm, was not fast. I was there to hit the ball.
Well, I mean, hey, hitters will play. They'll find a place for someone.
And they'll hide you in the corner of the field.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. This is fouled again at the plate. The count's now 1-2. Here to Jack Scharf, who drew a walk and then again was stranded over at second to end that top of the first inning.
Because you played first, didn't you?
I played first and I played left. And then I was also a pitcher too. Because my speed, which being a lefty, I was limited to where I could pitch, where I could play. 1-2 pitch is popped up into shallow right field by a step into right field, and Hudson Stocher, the second baseman, will make the catch, and that will retire the side here in the top of the third inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and no one left on base. We head to the bottom of the third. It is a 2-1 lead for Pierre over Spearfish. Back in a minute on KCCR. Watching it on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
With Dakota Plains Federal Credit Union's new online and mobile banking features, you can apply for a loan anytime, anywhere. Send and receive secure messages with our team and manage your debit or credit card with ease. Plus, enjoy seamless digital wallet compatibility. Tap, pay, and go with confidence. Your money, your control, your convenience. Download the app today and experience the future of banking. Safe, simple, and always with you. All deposits are insured up to $250,000 by NCUA.
When you're looking for quality trash pickup services, look no further than Envirotech. 6 days a week, their trucks are on the road picking up trash, even holidays. They're also the place to contact for recycling services. Their friendly, professional staff is ready to assist with weekly pickups or even special pickups. Check out the website at envirotechwaste.com. Envirotech is locally operated. Call 224-4804. Envirotech Waste Services in Pierre, proud to support high school athletics.
As we welcome you back, it is the bottom of the third and a 2-1 lead for Pierre over Spearfish. John Wickler alongside the speedy Blake Dean. The Sun and Shine trip, Linda Kugel and Parker O'Brien. 3, 4, and 5 here for the Governors. First pitch is over for strike one.
You're embellishing that story.
And I've also heard you got a candidate for a pitching arm too.
Yeah, clearly it's not very accurate either.
Here's the 0-1 pitch to Sun and Shine, who flew out to left in his first at-bat. That will miss low, and the count's now 1-1.
This was, we were talking with Jim Goodman in between innings, and we were kind of reminiscing. He was my teener coach back in the day, and we were reminiscing on a game we played in Sioux Falls. As that one's chopped foul down the third base line by Sun and Shine to make it a 1-1 count. But we were playing in Sioux Falls, and they put me up to pitch, and I didn't get an out in the ball game when I was on the mound, and we came back and won the ball game, I think, by a final of 19-15. I think we started that doubleheader at like noon or 1 and didn't get out of Sioux Falls till probably about 8.
Oof, that is a long baseball game.
Well, it was a doubleheader.
Well, long 2 games of baseball. Yeah. It kind of sounds like we were in Aberdeen last Thursday.
Yeah.
Here's the 1-1 pitch to Sun and Shine. Here's a ground ball to the left side. Outstretched glove to make the play. The third baseman. The throw to first is in time, and what a play by Bauer to make that play. And there's one down here in the bottom of the third, and we'll bring up now Linda Kugel.
Yeah, it didn't look like Bauer necessarily had his feet underneath him the whole time, but way to stick with it and make the play and fire the ball over to first on time and on target to get that first out of the inning. Nice play by the Spartan third baseman.
Here's Linda Kugel, who is 1 for 1 with an RBI single and a base hit in that bottom of the first inning. That made it a 1-0 lead for the Govs. Here's a ground ball right back to the mound. Sewell will stab it. He'll throw to first, underhand throw to first, and there's 2 quickly down here in the bottom of the third. And we'll bring up Parker O'Brien, who does not have an official at bat, but he does have an RBI with the sac fly RBI to make it 2-0 in that bottom of the first inning. And he's trying to extend this inning out so Sewell doesn't get a 1-2-3 bottom of the third.
Good time for Park to start a little bit of a rally here with 2 outs. Team leader in RBI, tied for the team lead with Sun and Shine now with 14.
First pitch is over for strike 1. And maybe as the day continues or the game continues, the field starts to dry out a little bit, as that one will be upstairs and the count's now 1-1. But you start to get your footing, or at least kind of get a good feel for the mound when it's not 100%, but it can be a little bit more consistent. You start to get your footing, and both these pitchers can maybe settle in to this ball game as the count's now 1-2. And now that they're pitching bad, it's 1 run on 1 hit and 1 error for Spearfish, and 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors for Pierre. Almost through 3 complete, so it's not like either pitcher is throwing bad, but they're seemingly throwing more strikes now. This one will be popped up. This one's got a chance to maybe drop and bounce up. Nope. Thought maybe it could have bounced up here.
Would you have counted that?
I got a foul ball.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Never been able to get one before up here. I would have counted it anytime. This will be chopped off the plate. It'll be picked up by the catcher. The quick throw to first is going to be off of O'Brien, so he is going to be safe at first. That would have been a very close play if it would have been caught cleanly. I think it's going to be a base hit for O'Brien. We're going to give a base hit. That one right off the top of the plate. You could hear the plate be hit with that baseball.
Yeah, and I think that, the pitcher and the catcher in Sewell and Weisman, they both kind of looked at it like maybe Weisman didn't see the ball right away, but Sewell thought, well, he's going to get it because it's closer to him, but it hit right off the plate and basically almost stopped rolling right in between them as that first pitch to Babcock is fouled up the third base line to make it an 0-1 count. And then when they both realized that neither of them were going for it, it was too late, and O'Brien beat the throw by, maybe a quarter step, and maybe it would have been a tie going to the runner potentially as well, but regardless, we'll give him base hit.
As that one a pickoff moving back in safely over at first is O'Brien. So he is now 1 for 1 with that RBI sac fly in the first. Bridger Babcock, who struck out swinging but got to first base on a drop third strike. Down to the count 0-1, now making an 0-2 count as that one caught the outside corner. And an 0-2 count here to Bridger Babcock with 2 outs and a runner on at first here at the bottom of the third in game 1 of our doubleheader between Pierre and Spearfish. Here's the 0-2. That'll be upstairs, and the count's now 1-2.
Parker with that single, now second on the team in hits on the season, trailing only Carter Scheffelbein.
And Scheffelbein, who is not here today, .510 batting average and 26 hits on the season. Here's the 1-2. Good take there by Babcock. It was a curveball in the dirt and a good block there by the catcher Weisman, but Babcock did not offer at it, and the count is now even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Runner on at first and 2 away here in the bottom of the third. 2-1 Pierre lead over Spearfish. 2-2. Swing and miss, and Babcock will strike out, and that will retire the side here in the bottom of the third. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and a man left on base. 3 complete here at Hyde Stadium, and it is a 2-1 lead for the Governors over the Spartans. Back in a minute on KCCR, and you're watching it on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
At Shane's Pharmacy, your health and your time matter to us. Our team takes pride in providing personal, professional care, from filling your prescriptions quickly to answering your questions every step of the way. Need a little extra convenience? We offer free delivery right to your home or office. Because at Shane's Pharmacy, you're our family, friends, and neighbors, and we're honored to care for you. Shane's Pharmacy. Feel better for less and stay well with us. Call 605-223-9200 or stop by in Fort Pierre. Shane's Pharmacy. Proud to support our local high school athletes.
For years, you have trusted Larry Fry Heating and Cooling to keep your home comfortable, no matter the season. Now that same commitment to quality service and expert care has a new name. Introducing Kruger Climate Systems. We're familiar faces, the reliable technicians, and the same dedication you've always known, now under a new banner. From essential repairs and routine maintenance to brand new installations, we're here to ensure your home's perfect temperature. Kruger Climate Systems, your trusted partner for a comfortable home. Call us today for all your heating and cooling needs.
It is the top of the 4th, and it is a 2-1 lead on the American Family Insurance Brittany Shufflebine scoreboard here for the Pierre Governors over the Spearfish Spartans. John Wickler alongside Blake Dean. Sydney Carlson back at the station as we're starting to close in at 6 o'clock. By the way, if there is time after we're done, we will pick up the Day 2 draft coverage. It might be towards the end of that 3rd round.
We'll keep you updated on the important teams, a.k.a. the Cowboys and the Vikings.
We don't have to care about the Cowboys. I mean, you can if you want to, but the Vikings.
We care about the Cowboys and the Vikings.
The Vikings, you could just go with the Vikings. Yes, I am a Cowboys fan, but we don't have to talk about them. Here is the first pitch to Sean Sewell, the pitcher.
Why not? It's your show.
4, 5, and 6, and he will launch that out towards left center field. O'Brien with a long run that's going to get over his head, and it's going to get down for extra bases. He's able to pick it up before it got out to the fence, and it will be a stand-up double for Sean Sewell, the pitcher, to lead us off here in the top of the 4th, and the biggest hit that we have seen in this ball game to this point, hardest hit ball that we've seen to this point. A runner on at second here with nobody out here in the top of the 4th. And Spearfish is in business to try and tie this thing up here in the top of the 4th inning.
Yeah, Sewell coming into the ball game hitting 7 for 28, 5 singles, 2 doubles. So that's his 3rd double on the year.
The wheel play right now on, but there is no bunt attempt, and that pitch will miss low for ball 1. Furman was moving over to cover 3rd. Linda Kugel was coming in to charge for a bunt attempt, but no sign of bunting was Tucker Olson.
And we're going to see how much endurance Furman has there because they're going to keep running that wheel play more than likely.
Danberg will come set, not doing it this time. Here's the pitch and a ground ball right over to Linda Kugel at 3rd. His throw to first will be right on the money, and thank goodness that they didn't have the wheel play on that time because Linda Kugel would have had a hot shot at third base to try and make that play. But he does keep the runner over at second base, and there's now one down here in the top of the 4th inning.
Yeah, that would have been maybe a short hop on one hop or no hops right at Linda Kugel on that play had they run the wheel play. But they didn't, and he's able to very easily retire the first man of the inning for the Spartans. One out here for Danberg in the top of the 4th.
Connor Johnson to the plate. He walked and came in to score. Spearfish's only run as the first pitch swinging. He'll pop that one foul out of play behind home plate for strike 1. Leadoff man reached base in the 2nd and in that now here in the 4th inning. They scored in the 2nd. They're trying to do the same thing here in the 4th by getting the leadoff man on and then scoring him to try and tie this ball game up here in the top of the 4th. Game 1 of our doubleheader. Danberg, who had 50 pitches coming into this top of the 4th inning. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That one is over for a strike. The count's now 0-2. Looking like maybe get through 6 innings for both these pitchers, trying to fight through 6 maybe innings when you'll see what Spearfish wants to do and what the Governors do, and some of that will be dictated on how the 4th and 5th innings go. As they'll pick off attempt, and that throw will get into center field. Danberg fell over. He slipped and fell. No movement from Sewell to try and go over to 3rd. And as Danberg is limping off the mound right now, they're going to go check to make sure that he is okay. Coach Rowley will start to walk out as well. Home plate umpire Matt Clark is walking out there. Make sure that he's okay as well. And this will not be a chart. Well, Coach Rowley, he's walking out there, and I think some of it was Danberg seems to be okay to begin with, and then he also doesn't want to get charged for a mound visit, although Matt Clark waved it off anyway as Rowley got to the first baseline. And so the count is 0-2, and all it does is you just hope that Danberg is fully okay. Because nothing else happened after that throw got into center field. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Connor Johnson. That'll bounce in, and the count's now 1-2.
Was just going to mention that maybe we'll see how okay he is based on the first pitch after the pickoff attempt. And spiked that one in the dirt, so maybe a little bit of nerves there on that pitch from Danberg, but we'll probably see if he can find his footing here and release point with a 1-2 count.
1-2. That one is taken on the outside corner for strike 3, and there's now 2 down. Another strikeout for Danberg. That'll be his 3rd of the ball game. And it brings up Tucker Weissman. And a runner on at second here with 2 outs. And a chance for Danberg to get out of this inning after that leadoff double. Weissman ground out to the first baseman Babcock on that diving play over at first base. Here's the first pitch. There's a ground ball to the right side. It'll be a Stocher that will field. He'll throw to first, and Babcock on the bag. That will retire the side. And a good job of the Governors and Danberg to work around the leadoff double. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. Head to the bottom of the 4th. Pierre still leads it 2-1 over Spearfish. You're listening to Pierre Governor Baseball on KCCR, and you're watching it on YouTube at KCCR Sports. Back in a minute.
Inheritance, romance, and investment scams continue to plague South Dakotans with high dollar amount losses. They prey on vulnerable adults and swindle consumers out of their funds. Scammers befriend the victim, making it difficult for them to see the reality of what's happening. If you have a loved one susceptible to this type of scam, sit down and talk with them about these issues before it happens to them. If you or a loved one have been scammed in this manner, please reach out to the South Dakota Office of Attorney General's Consumer Protection Division at 800-300-1986.
Stolken Peterson LLP has been your local CPA firm for over 40 years, offering tax preparation, bookkeeping, payroll, and consulting services. If your business, farm, or ranch needs professional, accurate, and reliable services, we are your firm. Our clients are our #1 priority. If you need a higher level of accounting service, give us a call at 605-224-5828. That's Stolken Peterson LLP, 222 East Missouri Avenue in Pierre.
As it is a bottom of the 4th and a 2-1 lead for the Pierre Governors over the Spearfish Spartans. John Wickler alongside Blake Dean. And the rake has come out to the mound to try and keep working. The rain is falling again. And obviously, the how things are going, again, it's not going to rain to the point where you're not going to be able to play a baseball game. The temperature, though, can dictate maybe something else happening with our second game. Hoping that we can still get a doubleheader. We have not talked to anybody, so this is all pure speculation of whether they're able to play Game 2 or not. But you hope that, again, it's kind of a no-win situation right now. It's sitting up here in the press box is that you don't want it to rain, but we know we need the rain here in central South Dakota. And so you don't really want to say we don't want to have it, but then you want to play 2 baseball games in good weather. As it is Aiden Johnson to lead things off. He'll swing and foul the first pitch back for strike 1. Here in the bottom of the 4th, to lead things off with a 2-1 lead for the Governors.
Yeah, if we could delay this rain by maybe, 3-4 hours, let it do this all overnight if it wants to, maybe stop at about 4 or 5 a.m., let the ground soak it up, and then resume at about 5, 6 p.m. tomorrow. All for it.
That sounds like a perfect plan.
Yeah.
And it will soak in pretty quick, I think. There's not a lot that it won't soak in very much. As it counts 0-2 here to Brecken to make that to Aiden Johnson. Brecken Furman's due up 3rd this inning. Here's a line shot. That is going to be caught by the first baseman. And we'll see here I already got the replay
Olsen.
captured, and Olsen made the catch. We'll go right over and see if we can watch that replay again from Aiden Johnson. Has that line shot and that leaping grab of the first baseman. And Olsen, there's one down. Here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Hudson Stocher to the plate. First pitch will skip in for ball one.
Yeah, to that point, I mean, Johnson hit that on the button. Don't think he could have hit it any harder, but Olsen over at first base, solid athlete. He was able to leap up and make the really nice catch, and that retires the first out of this bottom of the fourth here for the Governors, as now Sewell will pitch to, I can't see a number.
Hudson Stocher.
Stocher, okay.
Count is 2-0 here to Stocher.
I also missed his name when you said it earlier.
That one will be over for a strike. The count's now 2-1. Here to Stocher, who is 0 for 1. With the ground out to the shortstop and Scharf in his first at-bat. Here's the 2-1 pitch. That is upstairs, and the count's now 3-1. By the way, Clayson Davis, who does a lot of Spearfish games out west, part of Riverfront Broadcasting as well. He's tuning in. Want to make the correction. It's Wiesman, not Weissman. It's Wiesman for the catcher and the second baseman. This will be a walk that will be issued here to Stocher. And there is one on and one out. And it brings up Brecken Furman, the shortstop, who got a single in his first plate appearance. 1 for 1 in this ball game. One on and one out here in the bottom of the fourth inning.
Sewell at 62 pitches so far in the ball game. Danberg finished up that fourth inning throwing 58.
First pitch, there's a line shot. It'll be caught. They have to try a chance to double off Stocher, but that throw is going to be wide of the bag at first, and so there's now 2 outs and a runner on at first. And almost Scharf, maybe with a quick look over to first and saw Stocher was moving towards second, so he caught the ball to try and get the double play instead of potentially letting that ball drop and then all of a sudden get a chance for a 6-4-3 double play. Obviously, you can't let it hit your glove and drop because it'll still call you out, but a chance to maybe back up, let it bounce right in front of you one time, and then try to start a 6-4-3 double play. But there is 2 down, and it's Will Danberg down to the plate. It's another pickoff attempt, and back in safely again.
Yeah, and Scharf, that's the right play that he made there, but there had to be a lot of moving parts for that as Stocher takes off.
This will be a line shot right into center field, and the catch will be made by the center fielder in Crooks, and that is the end of the bottom of the fourth inning. We'll keep it here on KCCR as we're halfway through the game. No runs, no hits, no errors, and a man left on base. We head to the bottom of the fourth inning as we look at our total right now. Going to the top of the fifth inning. That was the end of the bottom of the fourth inning. And it will be for the Spearfish Spartans, 8-9-1. Bray Bauer, Cooper Chase, and Darren Crooks, the first 3 hitters. So far, 1 run, 2 hits, 1 error for Spearfish, 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors for the Pierre Governors. There was some activity in the right field bullpen for the Govs, but Danberg will return for that top of the fifth inning. And again, you're listening to KCCR Pierre, a Riverfront Broadcasting Station. John Wickler alongside Blake Dean. Cindy Carlson back in the studios as the Govs with that 2-1 lead here in Game 1 of our doubleheader between Pierre and Spearfish. We'll check a little bit of the radar here as well to kind of see what things are looking like and how things are looking. The rain starts to get a little bit closer, then it starts to kind of dissipate a little bit. So maybe we can try and still get, but then you start looking at the chance of rain and looking like there's a good chance of rain from basically 7 o'clock until 10 o'clock tonight. And it all depends. Right now we're sitting at 49 degrees, feels like 41, so not terrible, but we are starting to lose a little bit more of the warmth of the day as we get farther in. But of course, again, we have no information about how the second game will be played. The other thing is they don't have to really, they can re-chalk the field, but they don't have to water the field at all going in between games 1 and 2. So we'll kind of keep an eye and we'll maybe keep an ear out if there would be any kind of update. But of course, we'll have it right here on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports and tell you all the latest as we go farther into this ball game. But halfway through this first game, a 2-1 lead. Both runs coming in that first inning for the Governors. An RBI single by Trip Lindekugel and an RBI sac fly by Parker O'Brien. The RBI fielder's choice for Cooper Chase has been the only run so far for the Spearfish Spartans, as it is 8-9-1, Bray Bauer, then it is Cooper Chase. Then the top of the order for Darren Crooks as the first pitch is upstairs for ball one. By the way, talking about Clayson Davis and the Spearfish crew, they were big help to us having now what you have the center field camera, as there's a swing and a miss, and the count's now 1-1. The replays that we've had, they helped us tremendously get the new equipment that we have to be able to bring Governor Baseball and Governor Sports and Post-8 Baseball all in a even better aspect than we've had before. So here's a bunt attempt down the first baseline, picked up by Danberg. Throw to first is going to be in time, and the leadoff man in Bauer is retired on the bunt attempt. 1-3 on the putout. There's one down here at the top of the fifth inning. So big thanks to Spearfish and partners at Riverfront Broadcasting for being such a big help to get us rolling with our new system.
Yeah, thanks everybody. I think this has been a really quality product and a very nice upgrade to be able to have and bring these broadcasts to you. So thanks to everybody involved.
Here is now Cooper Chase, the left fielder. Here's the first pitch to him. Again, he had the RBI fielder's choice, just able to beat out that potential double play in the top of the second inning that scored the run, as they'll take low for ball one as they will skip to the backstop. Danberg trying to get through at least 5 complete. And we'll see again, there's a little bit of activity out in the right field bullpen for the Governors. Didn't see who it was that was warming up. Here's a fly ball to shallow center field. Parker O'Brien will come in. He'll call off Brecken Furman. He'll make the catch, and 2 down now here in the top of the fifth inning, and it brings up the top of the order in Darren Crooks, who is 0 for 2 in the ball game.
I'm kind of surprised that there was activity in the Governor bullpen, to be honest, John, because Danberg's been very efficient with his pitches through 5 innings now. He has to have crossed the 60-pitch threshold to this point, but maybe they're trying to save him for later on, earlier next week if the Govs have games.
Here is the first pitch to Crooks. That is upstairs for ball one. Also forgot to mention that Dirk Campbell sent a message again saying go Cubs, and we can actually talk about them being in first place for once this season. They're not in the bottom of the standings anymore.
You want to talk about that as a Cardinal fan?
I don't really. I don't really care too much. As there's a swing and a foul back, and the count's now 1-1. But now he actually can be talking about the Cubs in a good light for the first time this season.
They're actually tied with the Reds for first right now. So
here's the 1-1 pitch to Darren Crooks, the top of the order. This is skied out towards left field. Jackson Goodman will call for it. He'll make the catch, and it's a second 1-2-3 inning for Will Danberg. Now here in the top of the fifth. No runs, no hits, no errors, no one left on base. Governor still leads Spearfish 2-1 as we head to the bottom of the fifth inning. Back in a minute on KCCR, and you're watching it on YouTube at KCCR Sports. Has life left a dent in your ride? Or maybe you're dreaming of a fresh start for your classic? At Hunsley Auto Body and Sandblasting, we bring vehicles back to life. Located right here in Fort Pierre with over 25 years experience, we specialize in expert auto body repair, from minor dings to major collision work. Got a boat or RV with fiberglass damage? We handle that too. And for projects needing a complete refresh, our professional sandblasting service preps anything ready for a perfect finish. For quality work you can trust, Hunsley Auto Body and Sandblasting, 605-280-4451, 310 West Highway 1434 in Fort Pierre.
Dakota Sprinkler and Landscaping wants to make it easy for you to get that lush green lawn and that yard haven that you've been dreaming of. Visit dakotasprinkler.com to make appointments for sprinkler system spring startup, service calls, fall winterization, and landscaping quotes. Trust Dakota Sprinkler and Landscaping's professionals to get you through the planning and installation to make your landscaping needs a reality. Visit dakotasprinkler.com today.
It is the bottom of the fifth and a 2-1 lead for the Pierre Governors on the American Family Insurance Brittany Schuffelbein scoreboard. John Wickler alongside Blake Dean. 2, 3, and 4. Jackson Goodman, Sun and Shine, and Trip Lindekugel here in the bottom of the fifth. No runs for the Govs since that first inning, but they still are clinging on to that 2-1 advantage. as Sean Sewell, the pitcher, is working in now into his 5th inning. That first pitch is over for strike one. Again, these pitchers were, Danberg threw well over 20 pitches in the first inning. So did Sewell, and they've really settled in over the last several innings. They have been able to kind of settle into not great mound conditions because of the rain that has been kind of steadily, slowly falling through the majority of this game, and it's starting to pick up again here at Hyde Stadium. And fans that came away from the grandstand from under the cover are going back to the cover again as the count's now 1-2 here to Jackson Goodman.
Yeah, Danberg threw 5 innings, has thrown 66 pitches. Sewell to this point is approaching pitch number 68 right now.
Swing and a miss by Goodman, and that is caught for strike 3, and there's one down as he is now 0 for 3 in the ball game, and it brings up Sunshine, who is 0 for 2.
So both pitchers, to your point, very efficient, doing a nice job of working quickly, especially given the conditions that they are facing here in Pierre tonight.
Sunshine flew out to left, and then he ground out to the third baseman in his 2 trips to the plate. Here's the first pitch. That'll miss low for ball 1 to Sunshine. And again, the rain falling, but that gives us another chance to give a big thanks to Andy Furman, who built the little birdhouse that we have out in center field. As there's a ground ball right back up the middle off of Sewell. He's able to pick it up and throw to first, and that will retire Sutton Sunshine, and there's now 2 down. And we'll watch this replay here as it went right back off the leg of Sewell. But he was able to still make the play, and now they'll check on him to make sure that he is okay.
And it seems to be that Sewell's in some pain right now as he's really trying to walk it off behind the mound here at Hyde Stadium after just getting the second out, but that did not feel good.
Yeah, thankfully, again, I think he'll be okay, but when it's 49 degrees, feels like it's almost in the 30s, that's going to sting a little bit more than, not that it's going to feel great when it's 80 degrees outside, but it's going to get a little bit more of a sting to it when it's near 30 degrees for the wind chill. But there is 2 down, and he's not even going to throw a warm-up toss. He's just ready to go. And he'll bring up Tripp Lindekugel to the plate, who is 1 for 2 with an RBI.
And if I remember correctly, Tripp actually, his last at bat, grounded one right back at Sewell also. So Sewell might have that in the back of his mind after just getting drilled by Sunshine at the previous at bat.
And these Governor guys have been on the ball, just haven't been able to get it past Sewell up the middle for a base hit. The first pitch is missing low for ball 1.
But a good job by Sewell to hold a team who came into this game hitting .309 to 3 hits.
Here's a fly ball to center field, backing up. It's over the head of the center fielder, and Lindekugel's got extra bases. He rounds first on his way to second. He's going to be at second. He's going to try to go for third. The throw will come to third, but he will slide in safely. He's got himself a 2-out triple here in the bottom of the 5th, and the Govs seemingly going away quickly in this inning. Now have a runner just 90 feet away to take a 3-1 lead.
Second triple of the year there for Tripp. Governor 8th grader puts one right over the head of Crooks in center, and Tripp was off to the races. Sliding into third safely ahead of the relay throw from Crooks to Scharf, and now he is 90 feet away from extending the Governor lead to 2 as Parker O'Brien digs in here with 2 outs.
He's looking for his second RBI of the ball game. First pitch swinging, pops it up on the right side. Foul territory will get out of play. It doesn't go out of play, but it does land foul. And the count's 0-1 here to O'Brien. He is 1 for 1. He has sac fly RBI in the first inning, then a base hit with 2 outs in the third. He looks to try and take the team lead in RBIs. He's been a very clutch hitter for this Governor team. 6 of his 13 RBIs coming in today, now 6 of 14 have come with 2 outs. Here's the 0-1 pitch. There's a line shot towards right field, but it's going to be right to the right fielder and Johnson to make the catch, and that will retire the side here in the bottom of the 5th inning. No runs, hits, no errors, and a man left on base. 5 completes, and it is a 2-1 lead for Pierre over Spearfish. Back in a minute on KCCR, and you're watching it on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
Most of us already know that Gales Gas of Pierre is the place to call for propane. They offer an automatic fill plan so you never have to worry about running out of propane. They accept debit and credit payments or a budget payment plan to spread out the cost throughout the year so you never have surprises when you get your bill. For delivery, convenience, and great customer service, call Gales Gas at 224-5518. That's Gales Gas at 224-5518.
With Dakota Plains Federal Credit Union's new online and mobile banking features, you can apply for a loan anytime, anywhere. Send and receive secure messages with our team and manage your debit or credit card with ease. Plus, enjoy seamless digital wallet compatibility. Tap, pay, and go with confidence. Your money, your control, your convenience. Download the app today and experience the future of banking. Safe, simple, and always with you. All deposits are insured up to $250,000 by NCUA.
It is the top of the sixth, and it is a 2-1 lead of the American Family Insurance. Brittany Shufflebein scoreboard for the Pierre Governors over the Spearfish Spartans. John Wickler alongside of Blake Dean. Again, after we get done tonight, depending on how much time is left, we'll have draft coverage, NFL draft coverage here on KCCR. We'll start that tomorrow and then pick up at 12:45 for coverage of the Governors and the Rapid City Central Cobblers here at Hyde Stadium tomorrow afternoon. And then after we're done with that, we've got Game 4 of the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Denver Nuggets on KCCR with the T-Wolves leading the series 2-1 over Denver. And I know Blake's very happy about that 2-1 series lead. Did you stay up and catch the whole game last night?
Just the second half because I was watching the NFL draft prior to that.
Which, the way the NBA and the NHL have their game times, you definitely could catch the second half because they start so late. Even in Minnesota, they start so late. Was it 8:30 Central Time start?
It was an 8:30 start, yeah.
I think the Wild are starting at 8:30. Oh, no, they're playing tomorrow along with the T-Wolves. As the first pitch is missing for ball one here to Walker Wiesman. Then Jack Scharf and Sean Sewell, 2, 3, and 4. I saw the joke today that there was only going to be like, if the game for the Wild didn't go to overtime tomorrow, as that one's fouled back, the start time, the end time of the Wild and the start time of the Timberwolves would be like 30 minutes apart. And they talked about how quickly the people have to put the floor down after the Wild game is done because they tried to make. And some people are going, "Wait, really? How's that? How can they do that?" And then they didn't realize that one plays in Minneapolis and one plays in St. Paul. That one's outside the counts now 2-1. But that is you're probably not going to make it to both games. But it's going to be a lot of fun in Minneapolis, St. Paul area, the Twin City area, to be having two playoff games happening pretty much back-to-back like that, almost a doubleheader. Here's a 2-1 to Wiesman. There's a ground ball to the right side. Bridger Babcock on the backhand. He'll step and throw to Danberg, who is covering. And, boy, another really good play there for Bridger Babcock and Will Danberg, making that play look very easy. And there's one down here in the top of the sixth inning.
Yeah, another nice play. Both of the Wiesman boys have tried Bridger Babcock a couple of times here in this game, and both have come up empty-handed as Bridger has made a couple of nice defensive plays. Nice job by Danberg covering first base on the pitcher fielding position practices that you run almost every day as a pitcher in practice. As he covers first, retires Wiesman for out number one.
Here's a line shot, and that'll take a one-hopper into left field for a base hit for Scharf. He's now 1 for 2 in the ball game, and that is the third Spearfish hit. And it will be 1 on and 1 out for Sean Sewell, the pitcher, who is trying to help himself out to try and get this game tied up here in the top of the sixth inning.
Yeah, nice hit there by Scharf. Just line drive shot to the left side of the field, and that will bring Sewell to the plate as the go-ahead run here in the top of the sixth.
That first pitch is over for strike one here to Sean Sewell, who is 1 for 2, who has got a double to lead off the top of the fourth inning, which that looked like a really good opportunity for the Governors, or excuse me, for Spearfish to get the game tied, but he was left stranded over at second after Danberg retired the next 3 guys in order. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That one is missing outside. The count's now 1-1. Sewell's got one of those 3 hits. 1 for 2 so far, but he is one of 4 strikeout victims for Danberg. as it counts 1-1 to the Spearfish pitcher. No activity on that left field bullpen at all for Spearfish. And step off there by Danberg and get everybody reset.
Well, Sewell's only thrown 74 pitches, so if they're looking to ride him basically all game, I'd be surprised if they decide to go with anybody out in the bullpen at this point as well as he's throwing.
1-1 pitch, that is upstairs, and the count's now 2-1. And Danberg, where is he sitting at right now, Blake, because you got it pulled up?
I just did, and then I got out of it because I was going to look at something else. Danberg is at 74 pitches currently.
So, again, if he can get a ground ball double play or at least get the next two guys out, he's got a shot to go all 7 innings. That'll be missing outside, and the count's now 3-1 here to Sewell with Tucker Olson, the first baseman, on deck. And, again, the rain continues to fall here at Hyde Stadium. It's not a heavy rain. It's not, making it the visibility to go down by any means. It's just making things colder and a little bit more miserable for the guys that are playing baseball right now. There's a swing and a miss, and the count's now 3-2. Again, if this is 80 degrees, 85 degrees outside when we get this rain, probably other than just saying that it's raining, there's probably nothing else that's wrong with it being raining right now. But the way the temperature is, it is making things a lot more difficult for these guys. Runner takes off. This will be popped up. This will be fouled out of play. Maybe this will take a hop. Nope, it still landed in the stands. And it remains a 3-2 count here with 1 out in the top of the 6th inning.
Scharf tied for the team lead in steals for Spearfish, along with Walker Wiesman. Both have 4 steals, so was wondering if they were going to maybe put him in motion, and they did on that last play. Just unfortunately, Sewell fouled it into the stands to remain at the 3-2 count here.
Another 3-2 pitch. Danberg comes set. Runner does not take off. This will be popped up into shallow right field. Hudson Stosher will call for it. The second baseman makes the catch. Just a couple steps into the outfield grass. And there's now 2 down here in the top of the 6th. And it will bring up the number 5 man in Tucker Olson. It's a big second out here for the Governors.
Absolutely, and if Sewell hadn't run that out, my thought was maybe Stosher may look at trying to drop that to turn a double play to over to Furman and then back to first, but Sewell did a nice job of running it out to prevent that from happening, and it is now
they got picked off at first. They got him out, and that will retire the side. Danberg will get the out recorded. Let's see the replay here, and Danberg with a quick turn. The man was leaning to his right, and a pickoff attempt and a good tag by Bridger Babcock, and it retires the side here in the top of the 6th inning. No runs, a hit, no errors, and no one left on base. We head to the bottom of the 6th. Pierre can try and add on to their 2-1 lead here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Back in a minute on KCCR, and you're watching it on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
Wagner Auto in Pierre has been hitting home runs for over 100 years, delivering quality vehicles and top-notch service to our community. Whether you need a rugged truck, a dependable SUV, or a fuel-efficient car, we've got the perfect lineup to keep you on the road. Proud sponsor of this season's baseball action, we're here to help you drive home a great deal. Stop by today or visit WagnerAuto.com. Wagner Auto, South Dakota's oldest auto dealer.
When the South Dakota wind howls and the rain pours, is your home ready? Introducing Pierre Roofing and Gutters, the newest name serving Pierre, Fort Pierre, and surrounding communities. Owned by Karsten Erickson, the same expert you've trusted for years at Karsten Erickson Roofing and Construction, we're expanding to keep our community covered. From full replacement to seamless gutter installs, Karsten and his team deliver. Don't wait for the next storm. Call Pierre Roofing and Gutters today for a free estimate. 605-280-8080. Pierre Roofing and Gutters. Built strong, built local.
As we welcome you back, it is the bottom of the 6th inning. Diamond Dry has gone on the mound, and so they are trying to work through that. And Blake D and I were talking during the commercial break that it's not usually a good sign with the way the weather is supposed to be the rest of the night that we would end up getting both games in. Doesn't necessarily mean we won't, but that's not the first sign that we like to have of trying to get both of these games in here tonight. But again, Spearfish being a 3-hour drive, they might try to still fit this second game in before they would take off. But Sewell will just get to start his warm-up pitches here. We are going to have a pinch hitter for Bridger Babcock to start the inning. Hudson Schaefer has gone to the on-deck circle, so he will hit in place of Babcock in this bottom of the 6th inning. And I'm sure Bridger Babcock will go back to first base in the top of the 7th. 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors for Pierre. 1 run, 3 hits, 1 error for Spearfish. Here at this point in the bottom of the 6th inning, Sewell trying to get through all 6 completes. Pierre will play tomorrow, 12:45 with coverage, 1 o'clock first pitch between Pierre and Rapid City Central. The Cobblers are off tonight. They played last night. They rolled past Douglas 22-4 in that game. Pierre right now is in 10th place in the Class A standings. They would go to Sturgis if the season had ended today. They will play Sturgis here next week Sunday, not this coming Sunday, but next week Sunday. They'll play the Sturgis Scoopers for a doubleheader. Here's the first pitch to Hudson Schaefer. He'll line that down the right field line. That is down for a base hit, and it's going to roll all the way out to the wall. Schaefer rounds first on his way to second. He's at second by the time the ball gets picked up. Schaefer is going to have himself a stand-up triple to get us started here in the bottom of the 6th. 1 pitch that he sees, and he gets a triple to lead things off. A little dance over at third base on top of it, and the leadoff man's 90 feet away from making this a 3-1 game.
Really good to see there from Huddy. He had only 1 hit in 21 at-bats coming into that at-bat there, and he laced that one down the right field line for a triple as he was off to the races after that ball got past the right fielder. And now he's standing at third base, putting the insurance run, I guess I should say, 90 feet away, and Spearfish subsequently is going to bring all of their infielders in as Johnson steps to the plate here.
Yeah, it's a big spot here for Aiden Johnson, but also for Spearfish to try and keep this a 1-run ball game as the first pitch is upstairs for ball 1. Runs have been at a premium. 2 runs in the first inning for Pierre, 1 in the second for Spearfish, and that's been it. Been zeros across the board the rest of the way. Not a whole lot of hits either from both these teams. That one will miss low. The count's now 2-0 to Aiden Johnson. Only 8 hits combined, and one of those 8 hits, that triple by Hudson Schaefer. Lyndon Kugel also had a triple in his last at-bat, but the Governors unable to score that run. This will be popped up on the infield. Foul territory, first baseman Olson will call for it. He'll make the catch. And there's one down now here in the bottom of the 6th inning, and it brings up Hudson Stosher to the plates.
Yeah, unfortunately, just a little bit underneath it was Johnson and popped it into foul territory. It stayed in play. Olson able to make the catch for out number 1 here in this bottom of the 6th.
Will Eilers now will bat in place of Hudson Stosher. So Eilers now getting a chance to swing the bat here in this game. 241 batting average. He's got 2 triples, 4 runs driven in. And we'll see if both pinch hitters are a great call from Coach Scott Rowie over at third base. Well, yeah, you made both those decisions over at third base. He called for Hudson Schaefer when he was walking over to third, and then he called for Will Eilers right after that Aiden Johnson at-bat. The first pitch is at the knees for strike 1 here to Will Eilers.
Yeah, we'll see if Will can put one into the outfield past the infield grass as he swings at one above the letters for strike number 2 here. Just looking to put the ball in play is Will Eilers. Anything out of the infield will do a job.
0-2 count here from Sewell to Eilers. From the stretch, he'll come set and deliver the 0-2 pitch. He'll go up the ladder to chase it, but he does foul it away, and the count remains at 0-2. One of those swings that, as long as you make contact, fouled off, the coach will live with it. He protecting the plate at 0-2, but you got to make sure you get a piece of it if you're going to swing at it out of the zone. 0-2 pitch. That'll be upstairs, and the count's now 1-2.
I was just going to say, Eilers is stepping into the box, getting real aggressive as that one looked to even be higher than the previous pitch, but to that point he fouled it away and then took that curveball that was high for ball 1.
1-2 pitch. That is going to be popped up. Left side foul territory. Third baseman will run over, make the catch, and a good play there by Bauer in foul territory, making the second out, and now there are 2 away. And it's going to be Riker Edson that will come to the plate, I believe, in place of Brecken Furman So Riker Edson, who has gotten just one at-bat so far on the season, he's got a chance to try and make this a 3-1 ball game. So Riker Edson, who's been primarily used so far this season as a pitcher, he has gone in 2 different appearances in relief for the Governors in 5 2/3 innings. The first pitch will miss upstairs for ball 1, but just one at-bat so far in his varsity career. Leadoff triple by Hudson Schaefer. Pop out to the first baseman, a pop out to the third baseman, both in foul territory, and there's now 2 down here in the bottom of the 6th. 1-0. That'll come inside. The count's now 2-0.
Yeah, and after the leadoff triple there by Schaefer, couple of pop-out fouls, one down the first baseline to Olson and one down the third baseline to Bauer. So 2 quick outs there by Sewell, and now Edson's at the plate.
Swing and a miss by Edson. Pulled the string on it, and the count's now 2-1. This is the number 9 man. Will Danberg, the top of the order, is waiting on deck. After that leadoff triple, the Governors felt pretty good about getting one of those runs in. Now all of a sudden it's got to get Riker Edson to get on base, as that one's fouled back, and Sewell, after that leadoff triple, is 1 strike away from getting a big 0 and having 5, 6, and 7 come up in the top of the 7th inning. A 1-run ball game right now for the Governors, leading 2-1 on the American Family Insurance Brittany Shufflebine scoreboard. 2-2 pitch from Sewell to Edson. Swing and a miss and a strikeout. And the leadoff triple is left stranded over at third base. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We head to the top of the 7th. It is a 2-1 lead for Pierre over Spearfish. Back in a minute on KCCR, and you're watching it on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
As community bankers, BankWest employees are deeply committed to supporting local causes, growing the local economy, and creating local opportunities. At a time when you can bank anywhere, we hope you choose BankWest. We'll be your financial partner for the long haul, helping you and your community achieve financial success. BankWest. Convenient, connected, committed. Member FDIC.
AGE Corporation has been building South Dakota for over 60 years. For all your site work, construction, and crane needs, AGE is there for you. If you need a boat dock and dock lighting, AGE has what you need. Visit their website, agecorp.com, or give them a call at 223-2732. AGE Corporation, providing high-quality services without sacrificing safety. Visit agecorp.com or call 223-2732. As we welcome you back, it is the top of the 7th on the American Family Insurance Brittany Shufflebine scoreboard. 2-1 lead for the Pierre Governors of the Spearfish Spartans, as it looks like everybody will be back in their defensive positioning from the last inning. All those pinch hitters will come back out of the game, and all those guys, Bridger Babcock, Hudson Stosher, and Brecken Furman, all 3 of them are back in the field for the Governors. It is 5, 6, and 7. Tucker Olson, Connor Johnson, and then Tucker Wiesman, the first 3 hitters here for the Spearfish Spartans in Game 1 in the top of the 7th, as the Govs are trying to hold on for this 2-1 win. Again, rain still falling. Will Danberg trying to go for the complete game. 1 run on 3 hits so far for Spearfish. No errors by the Governors. Overall, just 3 men left on base for Spearfish through 6 innings. Governors right now have left a total of 7 men on base, 1 in each of the inning, and also 2 in the bottom of the first inning. First pitch to Tucker Olson at the bottom of the zone for strike 1. We'll have the post-game show, and then we'll also kind of try and tell you maybe what, if we're going to play Game 2 or not, or how quickly Game 2 might be. But we'll recap this first game for sure before starting to get ready for Game 2, or potentially just wrapping up the night, as it counts now 1-1 here to Tucker Olson, who's 0 for 2 in the ball game.
And I was going to ask you what the re-entry rule was, John, because, you know, Pierre pinch hit 3 guys in that bottom of the 6th as Olson fouls it off to make it a 1-2 count. But they were basically able to re-enter everybody, and I wasn't sure if it was just on one, that was only applicable to 1 player per inning, or if you could do it multiple times.
Yeah, high school baseball, the starters have a re-entry that can come back into the ball game. Legion baseball, once you're out, you're out. but high school baseball gives you the re-entry rule. 1-2 pitch. There's a ground ball over the left side. It'll be fielded by Furman. Got to make a tough play. He's not going to make a throw. It's going to be an infield single for Tucker Olson. Going to be a really tough play for Brecken Furman. I don't think he played that any better than he possibly could at that point, but Olson was up and down the line quickly, and the tying run is on base to kick off the top of the 7th, and it's Connor Johnson, the right fielder, to the plate now. There's a lot of very small, minute differences. I mean, the re-entry rule is kind of a bigger difference between high school and Legion, but there are some things that are just, you think about it and go, well, if it's one way, it's got to be the same way for Legion baseball, but it's completely different between high school and Legion baseball in some of those rules. Johnson was showing bunt. He'll pull it back and taking it outside for ball 1. Bridger Babcock is staying home on that bunt attempt. Linda Kugel is charging in from third. Now, a couple days ago on that Sunday, Pierre had the Brookings at the bunt attempt that ended up being caught in a diving play by Hudson Schaefer that doubled off the man at first and helped secure that 2-1 win. Johnson again showing bunt, popped up. Lyndon Kugel dives and he makes the catch. No chance to double off the runner that time, but a diving catch by Lyndon Kugel, almost exactly how it happened on Sunday. But what a catch by Lyndon Kugel over at third. There's one down here at the top of the 7th.
Can you believe this kid's an 8th grader, John? I mean, what a play by the Governor third baseman. I thought he landed on his head. I mean, he was almost did a headstand after he dove to caught that ball and ended up basically doing a somersault there. And Olson had to retreat back to first for after that first out was recorded, so he didn't get doubled off. But huge play by Trip Lindekugel for out number 1.
So here's Tucker Wiesman. There's a pickoff attempt, and back over at first base safely is Olson. So 1 on and 1 out here in the top of the 7th. First opportunity to move that runner over to scoring position fails. Not so sure they're going to try and bunt again. I think they're going to try and swing away to move that runner over, as Wiesman is 0 for 2 so far with 2 ground outs. That first pitch is at the bottom of the zone for strike 1. He ground out to the first baseman, Bridger Babcock, in the diving play, and then it was a ground out to the second baseman, Hudson Stosher. So if he hits that on the ground again, there's a good shot that maybe the Govs can turn 2 to get out of the ball game. Here's the 0-1 pitch. There's a ground ball to the left side. Brecken Furman will field. The only play is going to be to first. The throw is going to be wide of the bag. And it's runners at first and second now with 1 away. It'll be an air charge to Furman. The first one of the ball game for the Governors. And now it's a tying run on at second. But it will also have a pinch hitter as well. But an air charge to Furman. And it'll be McCann to the plates. So Brody McCann will pinch it for Bray Bauer. Here at the top of the 7th in a 2-1 ball game. Big spot here.
Only his 4th plate appearance on the season, John.
He is 1 for 3 so far on the season. First pitch will be upstairs for ball 1. And after Danberg had 50 pitches through 3 innings, he's settled into giving himself the shot to, one, win this game, but also go the distance on this game. As here's the 1-0 pitch now to McCann. That one's grounded foul over to the third base dugout in front of the Spearfish players, and the count's now 1-1. That was pitch number 87 from Danberg. So he's just under 20 pitches remaining in this ball game before he'd have to be removed. But he's looking for a ground ball to try and get out of this ball game. Brody McCann, the pinch hitter, with runners at first and second. That one's at the knees for a strike, and the count's now 1-2.
Nice pitch there by Danberg, painting the outside corner with that fastball to make it a 1-2 count here to the pinch hitter and McCann. And this is if it's not pretty obvious, this is a huge pitch in this ball game.
1-2 pitch from Danberg to McCann. Taken for strike 3 on the outside corner, and there's 2 down here at the top of the 7th. And the Govs are out away from taking game 1 from Spearfish.
And that right there is a coach's worst nightmare, going down looking on strike 3 as a pinch hitter. At the very least, ideally you would want to have somebody swing the bat if you're going to pull him off the bench and pinch hit. Fight on an or on a 1-2 count like that, but beautiful pitch by Danberg on the off-speed pitch, just froze McCann for out number 2.
Fourth strikeout. Here's a pop-up to Furman. He's underneath it. He'll make the catch, and that's the ball game. And the Governors will win it 2-1 here in Game 1 of our doubleheader. Will Danberg with a base hit and an air made it first and second here at the top of the 7th. And that was all that the Governors gave up in that 7th inning. No runs in the inning, 1 hit. There were no 1 error and 2 men left on base. It is a 2-1 win for the Pierre Governors over the Spearfish Spartans in Game 1 of our doubleheader. Back in 2 minutes to wrap up Game number 1 as you're listening to Pierre Governor Baseball on KCCR, and you're watching it on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
Your morning shouldn't start in chaos. At Pure Closets, we create custom closets, laundry rooms, mudrooms, and more designed to change how your day starts, lowering stress, lifting your mood, and helping you get out the door on time. Manufactured locally in Pierre, our solutions are built around how you live. Reclaim your time by reclaiming your space. Call Pure Closets at 605-223-5855 for a free in-home design consultation. Pure Closets, organized for life.
When you're in the need for high-quality replacement auto parts, look no further than Zander Auto Parts and Machine Shop in Pierre. Zander's has been servicing the Pierre area for over 40 years. Their professional parts techs can get you the parts you need and get you back on the road. Stop by Zander Auto Parts and Machine Shop at 500 West Sioux in Pierre or call 224-9221. Zander's, your source for domestic and foreign auto parts and accessories.
Did you know a well-maintained AC will last up to 40% longer? Save money and extend the life of your equipment with AirTech Heating and Cooling. From Oneida to Fort Pierre, we help homeowners and businesses slash their energy costs with high-efficiency cooling systems and precision maintenance. Don't let a dirty filter or low refrigerant drain your wallet this summer. Experience the AirTech advantage. Call AirTech today at 605-945-0160 to join our maintenance program. AirTech Heating and Cooling, locally owned, keeping the Pierre area comfortable for over 20 years.
When life throws you a curveball, May Adam Law Firm in Pierre is here to help you knock it out of the park. For over 130 years, we've been providing trusted legal expertise in business, family law, criminal defense, and more. Proud sponsors of this season's baseball action, we're committed to serving our community both on and off the field. Need legal advice? Step up to the plate with May Adam Law Firm. Visit mayadam.net or call today. May Adam, South Dakota's law firm since 1881.
So as we welcome you back, it is a 2-1 win for the Pierre Governors in Game number 1. They are putting the tarp on the mound and home plate, but as far as, and just talking to the umpires too, and said that we are going to play a second game. Still, that's the plan to play a second game. But the Governors do win Game number 1 with a 2-1 score in that first game, thanks to a complete game by Will Danberg. 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 run. It was earned, 3 walks and 4 strikeouts. Sean Sewell gave up 2 unearned runs in 6 innings. He won a complete game. 5 hits, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, 88 pitches for Sean Sewell on the mound in that first game. So it is a 2-1 win for the Pierre Governors. It was in that first inning where the Governors got both those runs. Will Danberg led off with a walk. Jackson Goodman reached on an air, and then an RBI single with 1 out by Trip Lindekugel made it 1-0. RBI sac fly for Parker O'Brien made it 2-0. And that was all the runs the Governors had and all they needed in the top of the second. It was an RBI fielder's choice for Cooper Chase. But Danberg was able to work around anything and everything in that rest of that first game, and a really good first game for Will Danberg on the mound and for the Governors to pick up their 11th straight win now on the season for the Govs.
Yeah, to some degree, if you would have told me coming into this evening's ball game, John, that we were going to have a pitcher's duel given the conditions that both these pitchers had to face, I don't know that I would have believed you, but heck of a game by Sean Sewell and Will Danberg pitching here this evening. A combined 9 hits for both teams, 3 runs, and Pierre, obviously the winner of the ball game with a 2-1 win. Both teams only with an error in the field, so relatively clean game defensively for both teams as well. But given the conditions, had you told me that was going to be the case, I don't know that I would have believed you. But to that point, Pierre scored both their runs early. Sean Sewell kind of settled in after that, pitched a whale of a ball game, and Will Danberg doing Will Danberg things, only allowing one run in the second on a fielder's choice. Had a chance to actually get out of that inning, potentially with no runs, had that fielder's choice been completed. But regardless, fantastic effort by Danberg again. He has pitched really well here at home as the season has progressed, especially in these later ball games. And the Govs end up with a 2-1 win. Couple of triples for the Governors, and actually neither of them scored. Triple into Kugel and Hudson Schaefer both had triples later on in the ball game. Neither of them came around to score. Just, again, crediting Sean Sewell with how well he threw the ball here this evening, I guess I should say. But overall, another way that Pierre can beat you. They can beat you in a pitcher's duel. We talked about it last week, that they can beat you a multitude of different ways. They can beat you winning a close game like this one in a pitcher's duel. They can beat you by mashing the ball all over the yard like they did in Huron earlier this week, I guess I should say. And this is really a fantastic ball club, and they're playing really, really well right now, having won 11 straight games to this point.
And now 13-4 in the season. Spearfish drops to 4-10. As you see the box score that is up on YouTube at KCCR Sports. Game 2 is going to be taking place here coming up, and I'm sure they're going to try and get that second game started fairly quickly. So we will take our break, and we'll come back and have News Director Zach Nelson with his 5 o'clock news in the 6 o'clock hour, and then get you set for our second game between Pierre and Spearfish. So we'll take a 4-minute break, and we'll come back with the news, and then start to get you set for game number 2 after that. You're listening to Pierre Governor Baseball on KCCR, and you're watching it on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
Building a home. It's the biggest investment most of us make in a lifetime. Not to mention, it's a decision that, well, you pretty much live with day and night. The quality of the workmanship stares back at you like a reflection. It also affects the value of your investment. Choosing the right contractor is critical. Kruger Contracting is that contractor. Call 222-2523. Quality workmanship and materials completed on time. Kruger Contracting. In a word, quality. Call 222-2523.
Capital City Ford, Lincoln, and Toyota in Pierre is proud to sponsor today's game. Whether you're in the market for a brand new Ford, Lincoln, or Toyota, or a quality pre-owned vehicle, our team is here to get you back on the road in style. From tough trucks to family SUVs, we've got the selection you need and the hometown service you deserve. Browse online anytime at CapitalCityFordToyota.com. Capital City Ford, Lincoln, and Toyota, where community drives us forward.
Hey you. Are you at a job that is fulfilling, has good benefits to support you or a family today, and retirement goes down the road? If you just said no, listen up. CHS River Plains is hiring operations personnel, drivers, and custom applicators at several locations. These come with a knockout affordable benefit package for you and the whole family. Apply to a job with CHS River Plains and up your benefits straight up. To apply, visit us online at chsriverplains.com or stop in at one of our locations. CHS is an equal opportunity employer.
Financial investments are very important, but so are the investments of time, patience, and encouragement our young athletes receive from their coaches, teachers, and mentors. Your Pierre area Edward Jones Financial Advisors understand this. That's why Edward Jones is a proud sponsor of Governor Athletics on KCCR. Go Govs! For all your investment needs, call or stop by one of our offices to visit with your Pierre area Edward Jones Financial Advisor. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Step up to the plate with Kathy Sunshine Properties in Pierre, your go-to for buying, selling, and finding your perfect home. Whether you're looking for a cozy cottage or a spacious family home, Kathy Sunshine Properties has you covered. We're committed to helping you make your next big move, on the field or in your life. Ready to find your dream home? Call Kathy Sunshine Properties at 605-224-5588. Your home run in real estate.
No one likes to have electrical problems, but when they happen, call Todd's Electric at 223-2518. With over 28 years of experience, Todd's Electric can handle any type of electrical problem, whether it's residential, commercial, or agricultural. Their knowledgeable staff knows and understands the importance of your home, business, or ag facility and are prepared to help. Call Todd's Electric at 223-2518. That's 223-2518. Todd's Electric, serving the Pierre and Fort Pierre areas. The line to power.
Looking for your next new or used car, truck, or SUV? Then go no further than the comfort of your own home. Shop online at lambmotor.com. On lambmotor.com, you'll find the vehicles Lambs has in stock. You can schedule a test drive or your vehicle's next tune-up, all online. New or used, shop for it all online, anywhere you are. Lamb Motor has the right vehicle for you. Lamb Motor in Oneida and online, lambmotor.com.
Step up to the plate with Overhead Door Company of Pierre. Like your favorite team, we deliver reliability, strength, and top-notch performance. For over 100 years, Overhead Door has been the most respected name in the industry. From commercial or residential repairs to full upgrades, our team of technicians stand ready to provide winning results. Don't let a faulty garage door strike you out. Look for the signature red ribbon and call the industry MVP at 605-224-6200. Bring your garage door game to the big leagues.
The Fort Pierre Chamber of Commerce held a 3-hour candidate forum Thursday with local candidates for Fort Pierre City Council and Mayor, Stanley County Commission and Sheriff, and District 24 House and Senate. 3 candidates are running for Stanley County Sheriff. Gary Nickerson says 24-hour coverage is just one change he'd bring as sheriff.
One of the things I would love to be able to do, be a working cooperation within our school system to possibly provide a school resource officer. What that looks like right now, we don't know. We'd have to sit down and work all those details out. Some of the other things that have been within our community in the past that I think would be a great law enforcement tool to not just Stanley County but a region, possibly a canine dog or something to those extents, drug detection, apprehension, whatever they might need. I do believe that there can be some changes within the office now.
Dustin Baxter says he'd take advantage of local resources as sheriff.
And some of the things I think we can do to help do that is, number one, we're right by the training center in the state of South Dakota. And we don't use it nearly to the extent that we could to provide some really good training to our deputies to ensure that they have the best knowledge, the best case law, the best stuff that they can have while they're working out in the streets. Like I talked about earlier, I want to strengthen our community involvement and how we do things in the community and how we interact. And I also want to strengthen how we deal with the city and the county so those lines of communication are open even more.
Greg Swanson says he doesn't anticipate changing much if he's elected to lead the sheriff's office.
I don't plan on changing anything, but everybody has different leadership styles. Dustin does and Gary does. They're going to have a different way of leading than I probably have. So I plan on, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And if you can get the cost down, keep the cost down, keep the deputies safe, keep the office running, and keep the community safe.
A similar candidate forum is planned for Monday night in Pierre for the District 24 House and Senate candidates, Hughes County Commission, Pierre Mayor, and Pierre School Board. It's a week behind, but absentee voting in Hughes County can begin today. Hughes County Finance Officer Thomas Oliva says ballots for the 11 different ballot styles for elections in the upcoming June 2nd election have arrived. The ballots arrived Thursday, and Oliva says in-person voting will start April 24th during regular business hours at the Hughes County Courthouse. Absentee voting was scheduled to start April 17th, but due to new state laws and the way the calendar laid out, there wasn't enough time to certify signature petitions from candidates in a window that would have permitted ballots to be approved before April 17th. Voters can request an absentee ballot through 5 p.m. on June 1st, the day prior to the primary election. In-person absentee voting closes at 5 p.m. on June 1st. Any mailed-in absentee ballots must be to the auditor's office no later than 7 p.m. on Election Day. Voters who have submitted applications for ballots will have ballots mailed immediately once ready. In-person absentee voting will happen at the auditor's office. Voters should make sure to submit absentee ballots early and confirm voter registrations.
The Fort Pierre City Council approved an agreement with Bros Engineering to let the engineering firm review plans for proposed water projects into the future. Mayor Gloria Hansen says with possible options on the table, she wants someone to stand up for the city.
With the possibility of 2 major water projects coming up, and with the vacancy of the Public Works Director office, I felt that we needed some local boots on the ground assistance to work with the state and to work with our water engineers, Bartlett and West. Bartlett and West have contracted with Bros in the past on our water projects because they don't have any local engineers.
Councilman Larry Cronin questioned the motives of the agreement.
Why don't we wait until after our water study comes through that we're paying for $150,000 through our rural water system to see what that comes back? It's supposed to be in July or August.
Larry, that water study is specifically for a potential Mini-Wachoni expansion. It does not necessarily guarantee anything out of that. So this mainly helps A, keep our options open, and B, fills a void that I cannot fill with some of the discussions we're having at Bartlett and West.
Councilmember Callie Iverson says it's a good investment with federal funding on the line.
We need to keep that utility committee, the 3 that are on that, we need to keep those guys involved with this very much so they know what's going on.
This is a do not exceed of $25,000. That's really not much considering the amount we'd be risking to lose if we don't have the right people at the table to bring things to us in Utilities Committee, in Finance Committee. We need the expertise to support the efforts that we've got rolling.
Fort Pierre has been working with South Dakota's congressional delegation about the potential for congressionally directed spending to be used for a water storage and possible water treatment plant. The Pierre School Board finalized approval of changes to the district's elementary school boundaries. Superintendent Dr. Kelly Gloat says preparing for the reduction of a section of kindergarten at Jefferson has been smooth.
All 3 elementary principals are here. I think they would agree that that entire process of reducing to 8 sections and making Jefferson a 2-section school has gone really well. I'm not saying there hasn't been any concerns from parents, because there's been some, but the beautiful thing is the work that we have done to create 3 very equal elementary schools with the same curriculums, and I think has made because we don't have a bad school.
Gloat says the change is not for just right now.
I know there were some that said, is the boundary change necessary when it's only impacting 17 kids? But we try to get those numbers as close as we can, and we also have to look into the future as to where people may move in, move out. So there's nothing saying that, if you're in Sioux Falls or Rapid City, they have to change boundaries on a regular basis, and it's pretty rare for us to have to change the boundaries.
Board member Dan Cronin says he supports making the change.
And I've always been surprised at the elementary level how many kids each year are in and out, and it always seems to kind of balance out, but you never know. We deal with the unknowns so often, and I just have to keep my perspective that what's best for the good of the benefit of all, and not just an individual or a small group. And as much concern or empathy that I might have for a few people that this does impact them and their families, there's no doubt about it, I do support this recommendation.
The boundary change is being made to keep elementary class sizes as close as possible due to lower enrollment for next year's kindergarten classes. And rain on Wednesday isn't likely to make an impact on the U.S. Drought Monitor for South Dakota. For starters, the rain came too soon to the Thursday release of the most current report on drought for the state. This week, much of the state remains unchanged. However, D3 extreme drought has now developed across southern and eastern Tripp County and extreme southern Lyman County in the Boot Heel region. That area of extreme drought also includes all of Gregory County and much of Charles Mix County along the Missouri River. Elsewhere, extreme drought is being noted in southwest Jackson County and from there across most of southwest South Dakota. The third area of extreme drought is being seen from Southeastern Charles Mick, southern Bottom and Yankton, northwest Clay, and southern Turner counties. Extreme drought makes up 42% of Tripp County, with 5% of Lyman County. 95% of Lyman County is under moderate drought and 61% severe drought. Counties with at least some areas of no drought include Hughes, Sully, Potter, Dewey, and Ziebach. With your Riverfront Broadcasting News, I'm News Director Zach Nelson reporting. News anytime online at kccrradio.com.
People helping people. Have you ever wondered what the benefits are of becoming a Owyhee Federal Credit Union member? At Owyhee Federal Credit Union, we reinvest profits in you. We do this in the form of lower interest rates, higher dividends, and low to no fees. So come check us out or come in at 221 East Pleasant Drive in Pierre, because at Owyhee Federal Credit Union, we treat our members like they own the place because, well, they do. Owyhee Federal Credit Union.
With any dream, the wind won't always be at your back, the sun won't always be shining, and some rain is going to fall. American Family Insurance is like a good solid roof that you can trust to protect your biggest dreams. With plans that could save you up to 23% when you bundle your home and auto. Also, you can continue to dream fearlessly, no matter what comes your way. American Family Insurance.
Visit mfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company assigned its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Contact the Brittany Shufflebind Agency, LLC, 224-6627.
Spring is the season for a fresh start, and that includes your technology. Whether you are looking to upgrade or need to breathe new life into your current device, CommTech is your one-stop solution. Experience the brilliance of LG OLED TVs, the immersive sound of Sonos and JBL, or the unmatched performance of Lenovo laptops. Buy with confidence thanks to our price match guarantee and 0% interest on selected purchases. We're your locally owned technology experts on the truck bypass. CommTech. We sell the best and fix the rest.
Koenig of Oneida, Pierre, and Winter has provided our services to growers of South Dakota for over 50 years. We focus on providing our customers with the products, services, and attention to detail that each farmer needs to succeed. For your individual needs of custom spraying, liquid or dry fertilizer, chemical, soil sampling, seed sales, and treating, stop in and see us at Koenig with offices located in Oneida, Pierre, and Winter.
As we welcome you back, we are set for game number 2. Brennan McCullough is on the mound, and we are just about ready to go as you're listening to KCCR Pierre Riverfront Broadcasting Station. He is the starting pitcher in game 2. The lefty will get rolling, and John McClure alongside Blake Dean. And Blake, we ended game 1 at, what time was it here? 6:42, starting at 7:03, so right around 21 minutes, and trying to move a little bit quicker to try and beat the rest of the weather and get through this second game to get Spearfish one, both getting back home, but also so these teams can't play 2 games here tonight. But for Brendan McCullough and for Tucker Wiesman, as a fan of baseball, you're going to look for these guys to throw strikes, and we know that Brendan McCullough can throw strikes very well for this Governor team.
Yeah, most innings on the team for Brendan McCullough, coming in, throwing 23 2/3 innings into this ball game. All 4 of his appearances for the varsity team have been starts. This is number 5 for him. 3-1 record for Brennan. ERA coming in at 2.96. He's allowed 28 hits on the season, 15 runs, 10 of them earned, 4 walks, 16 strikeouts. Whip of 1.352, batting average against of 277. Brennan is a guy who's going to fill the zone up. He's going to change speeds. He's not going to overpower you by any stretch of the imagination, so going to let his defense do the work. But this is a kid that, based on the statistics and based on everything we've seen so far, is going to be, if not, he already is at the top or near the top of this Governor rotation. And he is coming on to face this Spearfish Spartan lineup here in game number 2.
Darren Crooks will lead things off. He's the center fielder as he's coming to the plate. Walker Wiesman will bat second, and then it will be, make that, did I say that right? First name? Yeah, it was Walker Wiesman. That'll bat second. He's the catcher. Jack Scharf, the shortstop, will bat third. As the first pitch from Brendan McCullough will come in, showing bunting and dropping it back down in front of the plates, in front of the mound, and the throw to first, and there's 1 pitch and 1 out, and Brendan McCullough feels his position really well to get Darren Crooks in the first pitch of the night. for Game 2 at 7:05. As there is one down here in the top of the first, and it will bring up the number 2 man in Walker Viesman. Blake, is there a good news from the NFL draft? Is that what you're... nobody can see you up here doing it, but it looks like maybe some good news for the NFL draft. It is lefty versus lefty, though. Walker Viesman waits on the first pitch, and that will be over for strike one here to Viesman.
Well, as a fan, the board is breaking the right way for my favorite team.
Okay.
Nothing has really happened yet.
Oh, okay.
I'm just... I didn't think that there would be any chance that the board would break the way it has.
Does that want to be outside for a ball, and the count's now 1-1.
So the way that I see these draft prospects, I guess I should say.
So it's not necessarily what's happened yet, but what potentially could be happening
Correct.
still.
Yes.
Here's the 1-1 pitch to Viesman. That'll be fouled off the foot and rolling foul to the first base dugout anyway, and the count's now 1-2 here to Walker Viesman. In Game 1, he went 0 for 2, walked in the first inning, was straight over at third. Then he flew out to left and ground out to first in his other 2 at-bats. Here's the 1-2 pitch from McCullough, the lefty. Swing and a miss, and a strikeout for Brendan McCullough, and there's 2 down here in the top of the first, and it brings up Jack Scharf, the shortstop.
Nice job by McCullough, filling up the zone like we talked about, as he is able to get his first strikeout on the board for out number 2, and that will bring Scharf to the plate.
Jack Scharf, the number 3 man, he went 1 for 2 in the ball game, walked and also singled. The first pitch will miss low for ball 1. Defensively for the Pierre Governors, it is Will Danberg out in left, Parker O'Brien in center, and Aiden Johnson in right. Here's the 1-0 pitch from McCullough. That one's off the end of the bat for a foul ball, and the count's 1-1. Over at third is Trip Lindenkugel, Brecken Furman at short, Hudson Stosher at second. Alec Eilers is playing first in Game 2. Sudden Sunshine still behind the plate. And here's the 1-1 from the lefty, Brendan McCullough. That one is over for a strike, and the count's now 1-2. Looking for a clean first inning here is McCullough here in the top of the first of Game 2 of our doubleheader, with the rain still falling here at Hyde Stadium in our second game. 1-2 pitch. That is outside, the count's now 2-2. The unfortunate thing of how this, the fortunate of having the rain like it has been, we've been able to play 2 games while it's been raining for nearly an hour and a half. The bad news is for how long it's been raining, there's not a lot of rain that has fallen. Here's a pop-up, foul territory, Sunshine moving over, diving, and just can't make the catch. What a play there by Sunshine, nearly got to it. He dove for it, but he just couldn't come away with it, and it's a 2-2 count still now here to the number 3 man, Jack Scharf.
It looked like almost that Sutton overran it. I mean, that was a heck of an effort there by the Governor catcher, but just unable to corral that pop-up off the bat of Scharf. Still a 2-2 count here from McCullough to the Spartan shortstop.
By the way, the game time temperature, 47 degrees, feels like 40 with that rain still falling here at Hyde Stadium. 2-2. That one's fouled back. We'll do it again here at 2-2. There's that chance of rain tomorrow still, and even moving into Sunday and Monday, which is good news for the area. Not so much good news for tomorrow to try and still play baseball. I think we still can get it in. 2-2 is outside. The count's now 3-2. Kind of maybe depends on how quickly this game can be played and the amount of rain that falls while this game is happening to try and keep the field in good condition at the end of the night. Here's a 3-2 pitch from McCullough here to Scharf. Sharp ground ball over to third. That is right into the glove of Lindenkugel. His throw to first, and that's a 1-2-3 inning for Brendan McCullough here in the top of the first. As we have the bottom of the first, no score between Pierre and Spearfish as the Gulls will come to the plates as you're listening to Pierre Governor Baseball on KCCR, and you're watching it on YouTube at KCCR Sports. Back in a minute.
Is it the competition that keeps bringing you back? The long-standing rivalries? Or is it seeing friends again and cheering on your favorite team? At First Dakota, we're here for it all. We appreciate the fans, the players, the coaches and officials, the concessions crew. The shared community experience is part of what makes life here great, and we're here for it. See you at the game. First Dakota National Bank, member FDIC.
For over 60 years, Ferding Electric has been powering homes and businesses across central South Dakota. When you need reliable electrical service, trust the experts with decades of experience. Whether it's a simple residential repair, a complex commercial installation, or even electrical work on your farm, Ferding Electric has you covered. And if you're tired of searching everywhere for that hard-to-find bulb, Ferding Electric carries a wide selection of bulbs, including those hard-to-find fluorescent and specialty options. Visit us at 2903 East Elizabeth Street or call today, 605-224-8684.
As we welcome you back, it is the bottom of the first, and there is no score. The American Family Insurance Brittany Shuffleby scoreboard as the Pierre Governors and the Spearfish Spartans battle here in game number 2. John Wickler alongside Blake Dean. Will Danberg lead things off? He's a left fielder here in game 2. Brecken Furman batting second, the shortstop. Sutton Sunshine will bat third, the catcher. Trip Lindenkugel, the third baseman, batting fourth. Parker O'Brien, the center fielder, is batting fifth. Alec Eilers will bat sixth. He's the first baseman. Hudson Schaefer, the DH, batting seventh. Aiden Johnson, the left fielder, batting eighth. And Hudson Stosher, the second baseman, batting ninth for the Governors here in game number 2. As Danberg will get set and come to the plate. Went 0 for 2, walked and scored a run in that first inning when the Governors scored both of their runs. They've been held off the scoreboard now for 6 straight innings and trying to get right back in the lead. It's hard to say that you haven't scored in 6 innings, but yet you haven't trailed in the ball game at all, or today at all, as that curveball will drop in for a strike. And the count's 1-1 here to Will Danberg from Tucker Viesman. 1-1 pitch. Here's a hard line drive. That's through the hole on the left side for a base hit, and Danberg's got his first hit today. And the Governors have the leadoff man to kick off the bottom of the first, just like they did in game 1. And it brings up now Brecken Furman.
Yeah, nice piece of hitting there by Will, going between third and short. Sharp single to left field, and that will bring Brecken Furman to the plate. Will Danberg on the season has just 1 stolen base so far, so it'll be interesting to see what they end up going with here.
Here is the first pitch to Furman, and that one's over for strike 1. Furman was the number 9 man in game number 1, went 1 for 2 with a base hit, and he was pinch hit for in the bottom of the 6th inning. As he'll step to the plate here, an 0-1 count. And the 0-1 from Tucker Viesman, that will bounce in. The count's now 1-1. Danberg takes off, the throw to second, the tag, and he is safe at second. That was a heck of a tag by the second baseman in Olson. And just barely able to get in safely as Danberg sliding head first, and he's got second on that pitch in the dirt, and he's in scoring position here with a 1-1 count and nobody out in the bottom of the first inning.
Yeah, nice job there by Danberg going to swipe second base, and that puts him in scoring position here for Furman as that pitch is in the dirt, make it a 2-1 count. Second stolen base on the year for Will Danberg.
This is the first start of the season for Tucker Viesman. He went 6 2/3 innings and 3 relief appearances in total. He's given up 6 hits, 8 runs. Only one of those 8 runs have been earned. Sharp ground ball to the left side, and that's a base hit. Danberg will stop at third. It's first and third now with nobody out. Back-to-back singles for the Governors, and they are in business here with nobody out in the bottom of the first inning, and it brings up Sutton Sunshine. We'll continue the stats here for Viesman. He has gotten 1 walk, 7 strikeouts, that ERA at 1.05, the whip at 1.05, the batting average against at 188 coming into this game, and now, right now, he's 2 for 2 with base hits given up in the first 2 guys that he has seen, and Sutton Sunshine, who is looking for his first hit today, 0 for 3 in game 1, has got a chance to give the Govs the lead here to start this ball game in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, nice piece of hitting there by Furman on that last at bat. Big lead over at first from Furman, and Viesman's going to check on him. Firing the ball over just to keep him close, but Furman may look to potentially take second base. He also only has 1 steal so far.
Ground ball that'll be up the middle. The run will come in to score. The only play from the shortstop is to throw to first. They will retire Sunshine. Good play there by Sharp, but a run does come in to score, and there's a runner on now at second with 1 away, and the Govs will take a 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the first inning. Another RBI for Sunshine. That's his 15th of the season as he retakes the team lead by himself, and it's Trip Lindenkugel a chance to still potentially drive in a run as he's got a runner in scoring position here with 1 out. He got that first RBI in game number 1 with the base hit that he hit as he went 2 for 3 in the ball game. Here's the first pitch to him. Be a curveball that will drop in for a strike. Then the count's 0-1. Lyndon Kugel in game number 1 was the only guy with 2 hits. Nobody else had multiple hits from either side because there's only 9 hits in total. As here's a ground ball that's through the right side, but that is a foul ball down the line. And the count's now 1-1.
Yeah, Linda Kugel now on the season hitting .594 after that 2 for 3 effort in game number 1.
Governors had 5 hits in game 1. Spearfish had 4 hits in game number 1. Both teams with 1 error each. Already 2 hits for the Govs here in the bottom of the first, and Lyndon Kugel looking to add to it, but he'll swing at that pitch that was at the eyes for strike 3, and that will retire Lyndon Kugel, and there's now 2 down here in the bottom of the first, and it was Parker O'Brien to the plate. For Lyndon Kugel, that was only the second time that he struck out in what would be now his 33rd at-bat of the season. That's another impressive stat. That's going to help you stay and keep playing in baseball games if you're going to keep putting the ball in play and not striking out. Here's the first pitch to Parker O'Brien. That'll bounce in for ball 1.
And to that point, that's only his second strikeout of the year. He's walked 6 times on top of that. So walking more than you strike out and as well as he's hitting the ball, yeah, he's going to continue to see the field.
Pickoff attempt, but the second baseman was not at the bag. Count is 1-0 here to Parker O'Brien. He had the game-winning RBI with that sac fly RBI in the bottom of the first in game number 1. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Ground ball right back to the mound. Wiesman will field it. His throw to first will retire the side. And it's scoreless through the end of 1. No runs, 2 hits, no errors. And I'll make that 1 run. I say it's scoreless. It's not scoreless. Pierre Governors lead at 1-0. 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and a man left on base. We head to the top of the second and a 1-0 lead for Pierre over Spearfish. Back in a minute on KCCR. You're watching it on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
When you're looking for quality trash pickup services, look no further than Envirotech. 6 days a week, their trucks are on the road picking up trash, even holidays. They're also the place to contact for recycling services. Their friendly, professional staff is ready to assist with weekly pickups or even special pickups. Check out the website at EnvirotechWaste.com. Envirotech is locally operated. Call 224-4804. Envirotech Waste Services in Pierre, proud to support high school athletics.
At Shane's Pharmacy, your health and your time matter to us. Our team takes pride in providing personal, professional care, from filling your prescriptions quickly to answering your questions every step of the way. Need a little extra convenience? We offer free delivery right to your home or office. Because at Shane's Pharmacy, you're our family, friends, and neighbors, and we're honored to care for you. Shane's Pharmacy. Feel better for less and stay well with us. Call 605-223-9200 or stop by in Fort Pierre. Shane's Pharmacy. Proud to support our local high school athletes.
As we welcome you back, it is a 1-0 lead here in the top of the second. John Winkler alongside Blake Dean as we are into game 2 of our doubleheader. And it will be 4, 5, and 6 for Spearfish. Sean Sewell, Tucker Olson, and Connor Johnson, the first 3 hitters here in the top of the second. Brandon McCullough able to get a couple ground outs and strikeouts in game number 1. In the first inning of game number 2. As the first pitch, line shot, that will land just foul down the left field line. And that one hooked right over the bag and thankfully landed to the left of the line for just a hard hit strike other than a leadoff double, or at least a leadoff double.
That maybe landed foul by about a foot.
And it was probably fair by about 3 or 4 feet before it hooked its way foul. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That one will miss upstairs, maybe a little bit outside. The count's now 1-1. Here to Sean Sewell, who in game number 1 had that leadoff double in the top of the 4th, which felt like Spearfish had every opportunity then to tie the ball game up. But he was left stranded over at second after the next 3 guys were retired by Will Danberg, who ended up with a complete game, 1 run against him on 4 hits, 2-1 pitches outside, and the count's now 3-1. Brendan McCullough, the lefty, and been the guy that's kind of been steady for this Governor pitching staff throughout the entire season, but he'll give the leadoff walk here to start the top of the second inning. And it brings up now Tucker Olson.
You know, pitching in these conditions is going to be tough for anybody, even somebody as good as Brennan McCullough. And just lost the first batter that he faced there. You know, he's got a first pitch strike percentage coming into this outing of 59%, and just lost that first batter, and he spikes that one into the dirt for ball one here to batter number 2. But like we talked about, tough to pitch on a night like tonight, just not having maybe your best grip on the baseball because it is as cold and as wet as it is.
Here's a 1-0 pitch from McCullough to Tucker Olson as he delivers from the stretch. This is going to be popped up. That's going to get out of play. No chance for Sun and Shine or Alec Eilers to go after it. And the count's now 1-1. Instead, it becomes a $1 bill for one of the kids that are tracking down the foul balls here at Hyde Stadium. And that lawn chair gang that's always so helpful and big supporters of Pierre baseball, as that one will miss inside, and the count's now 2-1. They're not in their usual spot tonight. Maybe some have end up at home. They're probably listening and watching on KCCR right now. Here's the 2-1. This will be a line shot to left field. Danberg will dive, but he can't make the catch. Runner will round second. Sewell's going to be on his way to third. The throw will come to the third baseman and just wide of the bag. And then was also kicked by Sewell. And it'll end up being a double for Tucker Olson. And the first hit of the ball game for Spearfish. That one maybe had a little bit of knuckle to it, maybe hooked away from Danberg a little. And it's a double for Spearfish, and it's now second and third with nobody out here in the top of the second, and a chance here for the Spearfish Spartans to take their first lead of the evening. Real quick, too, mentioned the lawn chair gang, but Rich Shangru has enjoyed. They're going to go check on Danberg out in left field. I think he seems to be okay.
Yeah.
Rich Shangru said that he loves the center field camera and loved the replays that we had. I think the lawn chair gang that usually is here all the time, they get a chance to maybe watch from home at Hyde Stadium tonight. Some of them. Some are still here, I think. It's hard to tell who's all here from sitting in the press box right now, especially not since you can't look down and see them in their usual spots.
I wouldn't blame them. If I weren't calling the game, it would be fantastic to pull the game up from, home with the fireplace on and watching the ball game.
Ground ball up the middle, off the backhand of Stocher. He'll pick up. His throw to first will still be in time to retire the runner and retire the hitter in Connor Johnson, but Sewell will score, and it's now a 1-1 tie, and the runner will also move up to third. And there's one down now here in the top of the second, and the RBI ground down for Connor Johnson. And a chance for Tucker Wiesman, the pitcher, to help himself out and give Spearfish their first lead today in total. First pitch to Wiesman. That'll miss low and away for ball one. Good block there by Sun and Shine, although that might have caught him, or he has to catch his breath for a moment as it counts 1-0. The battery for Spearfish is Tucker Wiesman and Walker Wiesman, so it is Wiesman to Wiesman throwing pitches for and catching for Spearfish. As Sun and Shine still, again, trying to take a couple deep breaths after that pitch of the dirt ends up going off of him. And the count is 1-0 here to Tucker Wiesman. By the way, again, we'll have NFL draft coverage after we're done here tonight. Expecting that there's still probably be some picks still to be made before the end of the night, but even then we'll end up we'll end up having post-draft coverage as well on KCCR. Couple score updates in the NHL. The Tampa Bay Lightning lead 2-1 over Montreal. About midway point of that hockey game, Edmonton Oilers and Anaheim Ducks will play Game 3 at 9 o'clock tonight. Then an 8:30 start for Vegas and Utah, with that series being 1-1. It is a halftime lead for Boston Celtics over the Philadelphia 76ers, 54-47. And the Rockets and Lakers are tied 21 apiece, as that one is outside after we get back to baseball, and the count's now 2-1. By the way, the Rockets are without Kevin Durant in game number 3 tonight, and I think I saw that they have the second youngest NBA roster in a playoff game in history. Here's a fly ball down the left field line. Danberg has to come in a long way. That will drop in for a base hit, and it's now a 2-1 ball game. That one I thought had a little bit more legs to get out towards Danberg, but he had to come in a long way, and it drops in for an RBI single, and it's now a 2-1 lead here for Spearfish in the top of the second.
Yeah, that ball just stopped carrying, to your point, and thought that Danberg may have had a chance to maybe lay out for that one as well, but just a little bit too far out of his reach, and that's another run for the Spartans, 2-1 here with only one out here in the top of the second.
Bray Bauer to the plate now, but McCullough is just one pitch away from trying to get out of this inning. Ground ball can help you get out of it. First pitch to Bauer, that will get to the backstop as it hit the dirt and underneath sun and shine, and the wild pitch will get rid of the double play opportunity. And a runner now on at second here with one out in the top of the second inning. Last year, Pierre played Aberdeen and it had a 10-inning first game, which they won on a walk-off. Then they only played one inning before the weather was too cold and too rainy to continue, and end up calling that game. Here's the swing and a miss, and the count's now 1-1. Not saying that's going to happen here, but as we sit here at the top of the second, rain continues to kind of fall through, and temperatures are still dropping here this evening. 2-1 pitch from McCullough. That will go to Bray Bauer. He's showing bunt and missing the bunt, and the count's now 2-2. Lights have been on here at Hyde Stadium since we opened up this doubleheader. And we also got games tomorrow with a 1 o'clock first pitch between Pierre and Rapid City Central. Here's a ground ball on the left side. Brecken Furman will have to charge on it. His throw to first is going to be not in time. Now the throw will go to third, and they've easily got him tagged out for the second out, so they do have 2 down. But the runner did beat the throw to first in Bauer. But then the quick heads-up play from Alec Eilers, the throw to third to Linda Kugel, who made sure he applied the tag. The slide from Wiesman, he tried to stop himself and then go around Linda Kugel, but unable to, and there's now 2 down, and still a runner now on at first. So they at least get 1 out there, and it's a chance to get out of this inning. Here's the first pitch, a swing and a miss for strike 1 to Cooper Chase, the number 9 man in the batting order. So that goes as a 6-3-5 putout of Tucker Wiesman. And so there's 2 away. Pickoff attempt, and back in standing up is Bauer over at first. Cooper Chase, the number 9 man in the batting order. He went 0 for 3, had the RBI fielder's choice, drove in the only run for Spearfish in game 1. That one's over for a strike, and the count's now 0-2 here to Chase. And McCullough strike away from getting out of the 6th man to come to the plate here in the top of the second inning for Spearfish. 0-2 pitch from McCullough to Chase. And on the hands, a ground ball. Furman will field it short. His throw to first is low, but picked out by Eilers. Good play there by Alec Eilers to retire the side here in the top of the second. But 2 runs do score in the inning. Part of 3 hits overall for Spearfish, no errors, and 1 man left on base. Spearfish has their first lead today. 2-1 is their score as we head to the bottom of the second over the Pierre Governors. Back in a minute on KCCR, and you're watching it on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
For years, you have trusted Larry Fry Heating and Cooling to keep your home comfortable, no matter the season. Now that same commitment to quality service and expert care has a new name. Introducing Kruger Climate Systems. We're familiar faces, the reliable technicians, and the same dedication you've always known, now under a new banner. From essential repairs and routine maintenance to brand new installations, we're here to ensure your home's perfect temperature. Kruger Climate Systems, your trusted partner for a comfortable home. Call us today for all your heating and cooling needs.
Inheritance, romance, and investment scams continue to plague South Dakotans with high dollar amount losses. They prey on vulnerable adults and swindle consumers out of their funds. Scammers befriend the victim, making it difficult for them to see the reality of what's happening. If you have a loved one susceptible to this type of scam, sit down and talk with them about these issues before it happens to them. If you or a loved one have been scammed in this manner, please reach out to the South Dakota Office of Attorney General's Consumer Protection Division at 800-300-1986.
It is the bottom of the second in a 2-1 lead for Spearfish over the Pierre Governors. John Winkler alongside Blake Dean, as it is going to be for the Governors. Hudson Schaefer, make that Alec Eilers, Hudson Schaefer, and Aiden Johnson, as it'll be 6, 7, and 8 here for the Govs. Now having to hit from behind for the first time today. Here's a ground ball on the first pitch. That's going to get underneath the glove of the third baseman. The throw will be late to first, and that will be an air charge to the third baseman, Bauer, who maybe thought that ball was going to bounce just a little bit higher than what it did. And lead off air, and Eilers is on to kick off the bottom of the second inning.
The ball can take some weird hops on this infield grass as it transitions to the dirt, and just unable by Bauer to make the play, as we're going to get a bunt attempt here, and bunting it foul was Hudson Schaefer.
Schaefer had the triple in the bottom of the sixth inning when he pinched hits in place of Bridger Babcock. But he was left stranded over at third when the Govs failed to cash in by getting anything on the ground, up the middle, or even a fly ball to the outfield. They had a couple of foul outs and then a strikeout that ended that inning in the bottom of the sixth, but did not cost them, as Will Danberg was able to get the final 3 outs. I want to be outside, and the count's 1-1 here to Hudson Schaefer. And as Blake mentioned during that first game, that was just the second hit for Schaefer on the season, but he does have 3 runs driven in overall for Schaefer, as he waits on the 1-1 pitch here from Wiesman. That'll miss low, and the count's now 2-1.
Yeah, Hudson, if he can put a good swing on the ball like he did in game number 1, putting it down the right field line, getting past the right fielder, could tie this ball game up quickly as he swings and misses through a curveball for strike number 2.
So the count's now 2-2 here to Hudson Schaefer. Runner on at first, nobody out here in the bottom of the second. 2-1 lead here for Spearfish. Everyone's down the left field line with that hook foul. Good rip there by Schaefer, but it remains a 2-2 count. Here's the number 7 man in the batting order. Aiden Johnson and Hudson Stosher will come to the plate. And right now, maybe the rain is... No, rain's still going. It looked like maybe it stopped, but it is still raining here at Hyde Stadium. 2-2. There's a ground ball to the left side, fielded by the shortstop. Throw to second for 1. No chance for a double play. No, they're going to call him out because Alec Eilers didn't slide. So there's 2 down now here in the bottom of the second inning, because that's the second time the Governors have been called for the runner not sliding at second. And so it turns into a double play. And there's 2 down, nobody on here in the bottom of the second.
Yeah, that's something that Coach Scott Rowley's not going to be very pleased about, is Eilers not sliding and taking a base runner away as Schaefer was called out on the play.
Here's a ground ball now over for Bauer. He will bobble that one over at third base again. It's the second error charge to Bauer in the inning. Would have been a tough play to try and get Johnson, but will end up being an error, and it's now a runner on at first with 2 away. And it brings up Hudson Stosher to the plate.
Yeah, and if you hate to play retrospective, but if Eilers gets down, likely Schaefer beats out the throw anyway. So now you got runners first and second with 1 out rather than just runner at first with 2.
That one will be at the bottom of the zone for strike 1 to Hudson Stosher. Stosher went in game number 1, 0 for 1. He ground out, then he drew a walk in his 2 trips to the plate. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Runner takes off. Sharp line drive into right center field. That's down for a base hit. On his way to third. They're going to try and score the runner. Here comes now Aiden Johnson coming to the plate. The throw home wide up the line. He is safe. Stosur will take second. He's on his way to third as the throw got away. He will slide in. He's got an RBI single and will advance 2 bases on the throwing error. And the Govs have tied the game up at 2-2 here in the bottom of the second inning, and that's a big, big run for the Governors.
Yeah, first of all, just a nice piece of hitting there. Just lining one back up the middle, and Spearfish is actually going to have a mound visit here. Maybe I thought maybe the coach was going to look at the mound condition first, but he's going to get all of his guys together. But first of all, what a swing there by Stosur, going through the left side or to the right side of the field, going with the pitch, getting it almost past in between Johnson and Olsen in right in center field. Johnson was the one to field it eventually. Johnson was actually rounding third. He was looking to score. The throw in, to your point, well up the way of the catcher. Wiesman wasn't able to corral it, so that allowed Stosur to go basically first to third on the overthrow. And now the go-ahead run is 90 feet away with 2 outs as Danberg steps into the box as the lineup card turns over once again.
So here's the first pitch to Danberg. Ground ball left side. That'll be off the glove of the shortstop, and that'll be another run to score, and the Governors will take the lead. A tough play for the shortstop in Scharf, but the error in third error of the inning charged to Spearfish, and it's now a 3-2 advantage for the Governors and the American Family Insurance. Brittany Schuffelbein scoreboard.
Yeah, that's really, really disheartening when you give a team extra outs, and Pierre is taking advantage of that here in the bottom of the second as they now take the lead. They retake the lead 3-2.
It's a third error of the inning as the pitch will end up hitting Brecken Furman up near the helmet area as he was able to kind of duck and lessen the blow, and it's now first and second with 2 away. They had 3 errors in the inning. That they kind of get away with one of those errors because it ended up being a double play. That throw probably maybe gets Schaefer if there's nobody on base if the first guy's out. So you really end up with 5 outs now here right now 5 outs in the inning that you're giving the Governors, and you know they've been able to cash in with 2 unearned runs, and it's kind of been what the Govs. I mean they scored both of their runs in the first game with unearned runs. This will be popped up. That'll be left side. That'll get out of play just beyond the third base dugout of Spearfish, and the count is 0-1 here to Suddenshine. Suddenshine again, he had the RBI ground out that gave the Govs a 1-0 lead in that bottom of the first inning. He's 0 for 4 though today. 0 for 3 in game number 1, 0 for 1 here in game number 2. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That one's off the end of the bat. It's a slow roller. That will be foul, and the count goes to now 0-2. I mean, that was Suddenshine would love to have another chance to swing, so he's okay with the foul ball, but that could have been a infield single. That would have been a really tough play for Wiesman to pick up if he didn't pick it up right away and put the tag on Suddenshine.
Yeah, and these next 2 guys are probably the guys that you want in the batter's box with runners on in scoring position with 2 outs.
0-2 pitch. That is outside, and the count's now 1-2.
So to your... Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say 1-2 to Suddenshine.
To your point, I guess, the biggest thing is, you know, Suddenshine definitely wants to get another chance to hit.
That one will miss outside. The count's now 2-2, so the Deuces are wild here in the bottom of the second inning. 2 on and 2 outs. A 2-2 pitch with 2 runs already home here in the second inning. Here's the 2-2. Ground ball. That is going to be fouled down the third base line by just a half a foot, if that. And it remains a 2-2 count.
Yeah, about a foot foul there from Suddenshine, maybe even less than that. Just to the left of the third base bag, in between Scott Rowie and the third base bag there, to remain a 2-2 count here with 2 outs in the bottom of the second.
Wiesman will step off and reset.
And 2 runners on. How many 2s we got?
We got a whole bunch of 2s. The Deuces are wild here in the second inning. 2 runs have scored. Here's a fly ball to left center field. Moving over is Crook, the center fielder. He will call for it, make the catch, and retire the side here in the bottom of the second. But 2 runs score in the inning on 3. Make that on just 1 hit, 3 errors, and 2 men left on base. We head to the top of the third. and a 3-2 lead for Pierre over Spearfish. Back in a minute on KCCR. Watching it on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
Stulken Peterson LLP has been your local CPA firm for over 40 years, offering tax preparation, bookkeeping, payroll, and consulting services. If your business, farm, or ranch needs professional, accurate, and reliable services, we are your firm. Our clients are our #1 priority. If you need a higher level of accounting service, give us a call at 605-224-5828. That's Stulken Peterson LLP, 222 East Missouri Avenue in Pierre.
Has life left a dent in your ride? Or maybe you're dreaming of a fresh start for your classic. At Hunsley Auto Body and Sandblasting, we bring vehicles back to life. Located right here in Fort Pierre with over 25 years experience, we specialize in expert auto body repair, from minor dings to major collision work. Got a boat or RV with fiberglass damage? We handle that too. And for projects needing a complete refresh, our professional sandblasting service preps anything ready for a perfect finish. For quality work you can trust, Hunsley Auto Body and Sandblasting, 605-280-4451, 310 West Highway 1434 in Fort Pierre. As we welcome you back, it is the top of the third and a 3-2 lead. The American Family Insurance Brittany Shufflebein scoreboard. As the Govs are able to get those 2 runs, both being unearned runs as we move into the third inning. And I said that they had scored 2 runs on 1 hit and 3 errors. There's actually 4 errors in the inning, Blake, with the throwing error that helped Stosher get over to third base, and then that error for Danberg's on that ground ball helped Stosher score. So even if that ended up not being a error that's got Stosher over to third, they still would only scored 1 run in that inning. So it's those errors are costly right now for Spearfish, and not just, they were able to work around the first one, but the other 3 really were detriments in that inning to not keep that 3-2 lead or even keep it a 2-2 game.
Yeah, really big for the Governors there in that second inning. But to your point, Spearfish able to keep it close and keep it a 1-run game, as now every batter that comes into the batter's box for the Spartans will be the tying run that steps to the plate as Crooks swings and misses at the first pitch here in this top of the third from McCullough.
A 1 pitch, that is going to be a ground ball that is foul, and the count's now 0-2. And it's going to be Crooks who is 0 for 1. He tried to bunt his way on in the first pitch of the ball game and ended up bunting it right back to McCullough, who was able to step and throw to first. It's now an 0-2 count here to Darren Crooks. 0-2. That one is fouled over to the third base dugout again. And it remains an 0-2 count to the leadoff man here in the top of the third inning. Rain still falling here at Hyde Stadium. Here's the 0-2 from McCullough once again. Lefty delivers. That'll miss low, and the count's now 1-2. 2 runs, 2 hits, 4 errors for Spearfish. 3 runs, 3 hits, 1 error for the Governors. Here's the 0-2 pitch. There's a ground ball through the left side for a base hit. Crooks went up to go get it, and he's able to fire it into left field for a leadoff single. And it is the third hit of the ball game for the Spartans, and the runner on to kick off the top of the third inning. Getting leadoff guys on base helps score runs, while the Govs did not get the leadoff man to score in the bottom of the second inning. Their leadoff man, the top of the second and the bottom of the first, came in to score for both those teams. As it's now Walker Viesman to the plate. Pickoff attempt, and not too far off the bag over at first was Crooks, as he stands back at first base without much of a play. Here's now the first pitch to Viesman. He'll bunt, pulls it back. It was dropped by Sunshine, but no chance to throw over at first. And Viesman did pull it back in time, so it is taken inside for ball 1.
Yeah, Spearfish looking to maybe play a little bit of small ball and get Crooks in scoring position with Viesman in the box right now.
Here's the 1-0 pitch. Instead, again, a bunt attempt, and it will be dropped right down in front of the mound. And a quick throw from McCullough to first will retire Viesman, and it is a sacrifice that is completed from Walker Viesman. 3-1 on the sacrifice, and there's one down, and that tying run moves into scoring position. here at the top of the third inning. And it brings up Jack Scharf. Now again, speculating a little bit of how this game is going, or more so the weather is going, that is Spearfish maybe trying to say, hey, if we can get this game tied in the first half of this game, if we're not going to play all 7 innings, we got to try and make sure we're tied at the end of each of these half innings. Might be trying to play a little small ball, thinking that you're not going to be able to get all 7 innings in. As the count goes to now 1-1 to Scharf, as that one missed low for a ball.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense that maybe they would try something to that effect to try to maybe get a tie ball game and then maybe wait on the rain to do its thing, or what we're expecting it to do later on.
There's a swing and a miss, and the count's now 1-2. Here to Jack Scharf, who is 0 for 1 on the ground outs. Can he hit a base hit in that top of the 6th inning? In game number 1, as he is 1 for 3 overall today. 1-2 pitch from McCullough to Scharf. That one is taken for strike 3 on the outside corner, and that is the second strikeout for McCullough. And there's 2 down now here in the top of the 3rd inning, and it brings up Sean Sewell. Sewell drew a walk back to lead off the top of the 2nd and came in to score. I think when he was sliding in somewhere, I think his left pant leg ripped, and he's had to athletic tape it up so it's not flapping everywhere, as the first pitch is fouled out of play for strike 1.
That's really, really unfortunate for Sewell to have to deal with the rest of the way, because it's cold out here.
Runner takes off for third. The throw, the tag by Lyndon Kugel is going to be just a second too late. And again, as he got over to the bag, he's starting to slip and lose his balance. Thankfully, he was able to make that pick over at third, but he lost his balance, so unable to put the tag applied, as it counts now 1-1. But that's a gutsy steal there from Dawson Crooks, because if he's thrown out, that's the third out at third base with your cleanup man. 1-1 pitch is upstairs, and the count's now 2-1.
Yeah, gutsy play there by Crooks to steal third, and to your point, he must have gotten a really good jump because he was able to slide around the tag of Linda Kugel after he lost his balance.
2-1 pitch. That one's fouled back, and the count is now a 2-2 count, and a strike away here from McCullough to get out of this top of the 3rd inning. Two with 2 outs and a runner on at third. Governors lead at 3-2 here at the top of the 3rd inning. McCullough from the stretch, 2-2. Swing and a miss for strike 3. It was right in the glove of Sunshine, and there's a big strikeout. Back-to-back strikeouts from McCullough. No runs, a hit, no errors, and a man left on base. At the bottom of the 3rd, the Pierre Governors lead at 3-2 on the American Family Insurance Brittany Shuffle by scoreboard. Back in a minute on KCCR, and you're watching it on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
Dakota Sprinkler and Landscaping wants to make it easy for you to get that lush green lawn and that yard haven that you've been dreaming of. Visit dakotasprinkler.com to make appointments for sprinkler system spring startup, service calls, fall winterization, and landscaping quotes. Trust Dakota Sprinkler and Landscaping's professionals to get you through the planning and installation to make your landscaping needs a reality. Visit dakotasprinkler.com today.
Most of us already know that Gales Gas of Pierre is the place to call for propane. They offer an automatic fill plan so you never have to worry about running out of propane. They accept debit and credit payments or a budget payment plan to spread out the cost throughout the year so you never have surprises when you get your bill. For delivery, convenience, and great customer service, call Gales Gas at 224-5518. That's Gales Gas at 224-5518.
As we welcome you back, it is into the bottom of the 3rd inning. The Pierre Governors are leading on the American Family Insurance Brittany Shufflebine scoreboard with a 3-2 advantage over the Spearfish Spartans. And again, more maintenance is going on at home plate. John Wickler alongside Blake Dean, and and again, the good news, bad news is that it's been so dry that you're able to keep playing in these with the way the rain has been going on. The bad news is that you keep having to keep doing some work, so you can't continue to play here in this game tonight. As the first pitch is upstairs to Trip Lindekugel to lead off the bottom of the third inning. And we're not saying that we're not playing tomorrow afternoon by any means, but does this affect how tomorrow's games might be played? Does that one to be over for a strike, and the count's now 1-1? The good news is we're going to know fairly early on, because it's a 2.5-hour drive for Rapid City to get over here. And so they're not going to want to get here right at 1 o'clock. Here's a ground ball to the left side. The shortstop in Scharf will field. He'll fire to first, and the leadoff man retired here in the bottom of the third, and it brings up Parker O'Brien.
Yeah, to that point, it's been so dry that the grass has really been able to soak up the rain to this point, even through almost a game and a half. But it'll be interesting to see how it holds up overnight before Rapid City Central maybe even boards the bus to come to town before before the 2 games that they are scheduled to play here in Rapid City Central tomorrow.
First pitch will miss low for ball 1. And this, sometimes you like the hard packed rains that kind of makes it easier to get the field, the dirt ready to go, as that one is missing inside. The softer rains kind of tend to make the field just a lot more spongier and a little bit harder to kind of get ready for the next day. 2-0 pitch. That'll hit O'Brien. And there's now a runner on at first here with 1 away in the bottom of the third inning. But as we mentioned, too, the way the weather has been, and we're probably not going to see this rain really lighten up or quit before the end of the night. Are both teams kind of, I doubt they've say, hey, we're going to play 5 innings and then we're going to call it so we can get a full game in. But I think both teams are probably thinking, if we're not going to be able to play all 7 innings, as Alec Eiler swings and misses the first pitch, you are kind of playing for the lead in the end of the 5th inning to see if maybe if you can't play, then you still get the win and get credit for the win. That'll miss low, and the count's 1-1 here to Alec Eilers.
And I think both coaches have that in mind, to your point, that they are going to maybe play for 5 and try to get a lead after 5, and then once 5 are complete, then we'll kind of see where we stand, not only based on the score, but just on the field condition as well.
There's a swing and a miss by Eilers, and the count's now 1-2. Here's the 1-2 pitch. There's a chopper back to the mound, and slipping and almost falling was Wiesman, but he's able to still make the play at first. He was looking to go to second, but after he slipped, coming off the mound to make that play, there was 0 chance of getting that runner out at second. So O'Brien's over at second. There's now 2 down. Eilers is retired 1-3, and it brings up Hudson Schaefer to try and give the Govs a 4-2 lead if he can get a base hit. 2 away. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, big at bat for Hudson.
Here's a line shot that is through the left side for a base hit. That will get past the left fielder. O'Brien will score easily. Schaefer's on his way to second. He's got an RBI double, and the Governors now lead at 4-2 here in the bottom of the third inning.
Another big swing for Hudson Schaefer, who came into this doubleheader with only 1 hit on the season, and he has a triple now and a double as well, as he was able to split left and center fielders and score another run for the Governors, making it 4-2 here in this bottom of the third. Another run on the board for the Governors. They've scored in every inning to this point.
And it will be now Aiden Johnson, who's got another RBI opportunity. Governors are coming in, as we mentioned in Game 1, 297 with runners in scoring position. That's their batting average with runners in scoring position. First pitch to Aiden Johnson will miss low and away for ball 1. They had 32 out RBIs. They picked up another one here with Hudson Schaefer with that base hit, or with that double. Here's the 1-0 pitch now to Aiden Johnson. That'll miss outside, and the count's now 2-0. And the Govs, who had a 309 batting average, that has dipped because of that first game, only picking up 5 hits in total. They have 4 hits here, as that one will miss low, and the count's now 3-0. 4 hits through nearly 3 completes. So they're going to try and see if they can get that batting average back up. Here's a 3-0 from Wiesman to Johnson. That's over for a strike, and the count's now 3-1.
A big at-bat here for Johnson. 3-1 count. He's probably looking for one pitch right now in one spot.
3-1 pitch will come inside for ball 4, and it's now first and second. And it brings up now Hudson Stosher to the plate. He had the RBI single that gave the Govs the tie game at 2-2, and then he came in to score to give the Govs the lead on the Wilt Danberg at-bat. But Stosher with that good piece of hitting that last time he was up. He hit it to the right side when Aiden Johnson was stealing second. Went right over the second baseman's head, or just to the left of the second baseman as the first pitch is over for strike 1. And he ended up at third when the throw went high over the top of the catcher, and Stosher was already going to second on the throw. This one to be flown out to right to center field, right to the center fielder. And Crooks, he'll make the catch and retire the side here in the bottom of the third. No runs, make that 1-run scores in the inning. On 1 hit, there are no errors, and 2 men left on base. We head to the top of the 4th. It is a 4-2 lead for Pierre over Spearfish. Back in a minute here on KCCR. You're watching it on YouTube at KCCR Sports. Back in a minute.
With Dakota Plains Federal Credit Union's new online and mobile banking features, you can apply for a loan anytime, anywhere. Send and receive secure messages with our team and manage your debit or credit card with ease. Plus, enjoy seamless digital wallet compatibility. Tap, pay, and go with confidence. Your money, your control, your convenience. Download the app today and experience the future of banking. Safe, simple, and always with you. All deposits are insured up to $250,000 by NCUA.
Wagner Auto in Pierre has been hitting home runs for over 100 years, delivering quality vehicles and top-notch service to our community. Whether you need a rugged truck, a dependable SUV, or a fuel-efficient car, we've got the perfect lineup to keep you on the road. Proud sponsor of this season's baseball action, we're here to help you drive home a great deal. Stop by today or visit WagnerAuto.com. Wagner Auto, South Dakota's oldest auto dealer.
It is the top of the 4th inning, and the Pierre Governors have a 4-2 lead on the American Family Insurance Brittany Shufflebine scoreboard. John Winkler alongside Blake Dean here in our second game. The Govs have scored in all 3 innings so far, 1 in the first, 2 in the second, and 1 in the third. As the first pitch here to Tucker Olson. That one will be popped up on the right side. Alec Eiler is giving it a long look. He slides, and it will land foul for strike 1. He was running out of room, and he was also running towards those concrete bricks over there. But maybe, and purposely sliding to slow himself up. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Tucker Olson. This is popped up again. Eiler's again racing after it. He will make the catch right in front of the first base dugouts. And the leadoff man is retired here in the top of the 4th inning. And it brings up Connor Johnson, who had the RBI groundouts that made it a 1-1 game back in the top of the 2nd inning.
Yeah, that last play by Eilers over here on the wall, maybe slowing up a little bit, to your point, John. Probably a little bit of risk management there, as he's able to then, on the very next pitch, make the catch in foul territory near the Pierre dugout for out number 1.
Connor Johnson 0 for 1 with an RBI. First pitch to him. This will be popped up on the right side. Hudson Stosher will call for it, and Alec Eilers will give way for Stosher to make the catch. There's 2 down here in the top of the 4th, and it brings up Tucker Wiesman, the pitcher. He gave his team the lead with the RBI single back in that top of the 2nd, but has since given up the lead, and Pierre's got a 2-run advantage here in the top of the 4th inning. So Wiesman here with 2 outs and nobody on. Swings to the first pitch and grounds it right over to Alec Eilers. That's a 4-pitch inning for Brendan McCullough. And they're 3 down, 3 up, and 3 down here in the top of the 4th. We head to the bottom of the 4th. 4-2 lead for Pierre over Spearfish. Back in a minute on KCCR, and you're watching it on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
When the South Dakota wind howls and the rain pours, is your home ready? Introducing Pierre Roofing and Gutters, the newest name serving Pierre, Fort Pierre, and surrounding communities. Owned by Karsten Erickson, the same expert you've trusted for years at Karsten Erickson Roofing and Construction, we're expanding to keep our community covered. From full replacement to seamless gutter installs, Karsten and his team deliver. Don't wait for the next storm. Call Pierre Roofing and Gutters today for a free estimate. 605-280-8080. Pierre Roofing and Gutters. Built strong. Built local.
As community bankers, BankWest employees are deeply committed to supporting local causes, growing the local economy, and creating local opportunities. At a time when you can bank anywhere, we hope you choose BankWest. We'll be your financial partner for the long haul, helping you and your community achieve financial success. BankWest. Convenient, connected, committed. Member FDIC.
As we welcome you back, it is the bottom of the fourth and a 4-2 lead for Pierre over Spearfish. John Wickler alongside Blake Dean as you're listening to KCCR Pierre, Riverfront Broadcasting Station. Cindy Carlson back in the studios. Governors took a 1-0 lead in the RBI ground out by Sunshine in the first inning. Spearfish took a 2-1 lead in the top of the second with RBI ground out and a base hit. And the Govs tied up with an RBI single from Hudson Stosher. He ended up getting the third on that same play with a throwing error. That ended up scoring on the next at-bat with the error. And then it was a RBI double for Hudson Schaefer that made it a 4-2 lead for the Govs. As we stand here in the bottom of the fourth inning, here in Game 2. Governors won Game number 1, 2-1, as they got an RBI single from Trip Linda Kugel and an RBI sac fly from Parker O'Brien in that first inning to take a 2-0 lead. Will Danberg win all 7 innings in the Game 1 win, and now here in Game 2, trying to extend their 4-2 lead out. First pitch is be upstairs for ball 1. Here to the top of the order. Will Danberg, Brecken Furman, Sunshine. Anybody reaches base, it'll go to the cleanup man, Linda Kugel. There's a swing and a miss on the curveball to Danberg, and the count's now 1-1. Glad you're with us here on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports. As that one's a line shot to right field. That is down the line as a base hit. It'll go all the way out to the wall. As Danberg will round second, he's on his way to third. He's going to have himself an easy stand-up triple to kick off the bottom of the fourth inning. And for the Govs, that is the third triple today. Linda Kugel and Schaefer had one in Game number 1, and now a triple for Danberg here in Game 2. And Pierre's in business to start this bottom of the fourth inning. And we'll have a mound visit here.
Yeah, Danberg was off with the pitch on that last at-bat. And Johnson, I don't know if he maybe struggled picking that ball up off of the grass, because as Danberg was rounding second, I thought that maybe Johnson would have an opportunity to make the relay throw in from right field. But he must have bobbled it out there, because then afterwards, Danberg was basically standing on third base before the relay throw was, completed, I suppose. So looks like we're actually going to get a pitching change here for Spearfish as they take Wiesman out of the ballgame.
Yeah, it'll be Tucker Olson to the mound. Tucker Wiesman will end his afternoon, but he'll go play second in, end his evening on the mound, but he'll go and play second base in place of Tucker Olson, where he played in Game number 1. And for Tucker Olson, he has thrown 6 innings so far. This will be his 5th relief appearance. All of his appearances have been relief appearances. 7 hits, 13 runs, only 4 of them have been earned. They also, for 10 walks, 7 strikeouts, ERA at 4.67 and a whip at 2.83. Batting average against at 269 for Tucker Olson. One of the things we didn't mention here, Blake, is we'll keep it here on KCCR, was obviously a big thing in Game 1 because it was 2 unearned runs against Spearfish. They given up 110 runs. Only 59 of those 110 were earned runs through their first 13 games of the season. So now, obviously, the first run was a first and fourth run have been earned here in Game 2, but another 2 unearned runs. So a total of 116 runs now given up and only 61. And it's almost half the runs being unearned. That does not help a lot of pitching staffs out. It doesn't help a lot of records out. And that's the struggle for Spearfish this season. You've got some good pitchers, you've got good hitters, but the defense just hasn't been sharp for the Spartans so far in this early part of the season.
Yeah, when your defense doesn't help you as far as getting outs, when you give extra outs to teams, especially good teams and teams like the Pierre Governors who come into this ball game on an 11-game winning streak, you're just not setting yourself up for success. And to that point, I mean, it sounds like that's kind of been the recipe so far for the Spartans this year, and may be in part why their record is what it is, as that pitch was thrown from Olson and Furman fouled it up the right field line for strike number 2 to make it an 0-2 count.
So here's the 0-2 now from Tucker Olson to Brecken Furman. Nobody out, runner on at third. And that one's fouled at the plate, and we'll do it again here at 1-2. Furman is 1 for 1. He singled in the first inning and then was hit by a pitch in the second, but he was left stranded both innings. Now he's trying to get an RBI base hit here, and for Furman, that would be RBI number 6 if he could bring in that run. Here's the 0-2 pitch. That'll come high and inside, and the count's now 1-2. And again, the center field camera here at Hyde Stadium, even with the rain, we want to give a big shout out to Andy Furman, who built us a birdhouse out there and got it connected to the wall to give us the one to protect the sun and keep the camera cool, but it's also keeping the camera dry out there tonight, as that one is fouled back, and it remains a 1-2 count here to Furman. It's got shingles on the birdhouse and help protect it from any kind of other weather, as that one's taken on the outside corner for strike 3, and there's one down here in the bottom of the 4th, and it brings up Sutton Sunshine at the plate. And then again, I still got to thank my wife for all the help that she was to try and get we have an electric generator to keep the camera going, all that stuff, and to be able to do that with the rain on the first time doing that, as there's a sharp line drive into center field for a base hit. Sunshine has made this a 5-2 ball game. And another RBI for Sunshine, his second here in the game. And it's a 5-2 advantage here for the Govs. They lead it by 3, as we'll have a courtesy runner. Landry Van Rokel will run for Sunshine. And the Govs are up by 3.
Yeah, good piece of hitting there by Sutton, just staying with the pitch, lining it back up the middle for a base hit. Scoring another run for the Govs, making this a 5-2 ball game. Again, extending their ability to score in every inning so far in this ball game. And that puts a runner at first in Van Rokel, now running for Sunshine with 1 out, and Trip Lindekugel coming to the plate.
He's 0 for 2 so far in the ball game. That'll be missing outside for ball 1.
Don't think we've said that too many times this spring for Trip Lindekugel.
It's been a long time since he's been retired 2 times in a row. Here's the 1-0 pitch that is outside, and the count's now 2-0. Last Thursday in Aberdeen, he had, I think, 10 trips to the plate, and he got on base 9 of those 10 times, and that was with either a hit or a walk. It was no reaching on an error or fielder's choice. It was a hit or a walk every time. He went, I think, 7 for 8 in that total of that doubleheader, or 6 of 7 in that doubleheader. As it counts 3-0 here to Lindekugel, with 1 on and 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th. That one will be at the knees for a strike, and the count's now 3-1, and still a good hitter's count here for Lindekugel to try and do something here in the bottom of the 4th inning. 3-1 pitch to the cleanup man. There's a fly ball down the right field line. Is it going to stay fair? It will land just foul, sliced its way foul, and the count's now 3-2. Couple of final scores here today. Watertown, they beat Brookings 6-4. Huron, make that Sioux Falls Lincoln beat Huron 9-4. Also have Harrisburg beating Brandon Valley 4-3. In that first game, Stevens beat Mitchell 11-6. A couple other games that are in progress right now, as there's a pickoff attempt. Lincoln's beating Harrisburg 2-0 in Game 2 of that doubleheader. Brookings has a 6-5 lead over Watertown in Game 2. And then there's also I believe that's the other Well, there's a runner takes off. The throw to second. They're going to get a strike him out, throw him out to end the bottom of the 4th inning. Linda Kugel strikes out swinging. They throw out Van Rokel trying to steal second. And it's a strike him out, throw him out to get out of that bottom of the 4th. But a run does score in the inning on 2 hits. There were no errors and no one left on base. We head to the top of the 5th. It's a 5-2 lead for Pierre over Spearfish. Back in a minute on KCCR, and you're watching it on YouTube at KCCR Sports. AGE Corporation has been building South Dakota for over 60 years. For all your site work, construction, and crane needs, AGE is there for you. If you need a boat dock and dock lighting, AGE has what you need. Visit their website, agecorp.com, or give them a call at 223-2732. AGE Corporation, providing high-quality services without sacrificing safety. Visit agecorp.com or call 223-2732.
Your morning shouldn't start in chaos. At Pure Closets, we create custom closets, laundry rooms, mudrooms, and more designed to change how your day starts, lowering stress, lifting your mood, and helping you get out the door on time. Manufactured locally in Pierre, our solutions are built around how you live. Reclaim your time by reclaiming your space. Call Pure Closets at 605-223-5855 for free in-home design consultation. Pure Closets, organized for life.
It is the top of the 5th inning. More maintenance at work on the mound right now. And it will be for Spearfish 8-9-1. Ray Bauer, Cooper Chase, and Derek Crooks. Anybody reaches base, it'll be Walker Viesman to the plates. 5-2 our score here in game number 2 with the Governors leading Spearfish. John Wickler alongside Blake Dean here on this Friday night. Glad you're with us. For those, again, that, kudos to all those that are kind of huddled up in behind home plate in the grandstand right now and can't really see a whole lot of them. They've decided to go 2 to 3 rows up on the in the grandstand, which is probably a smart idea. Stay as much out of the rain as you possibly can. But also, it's why we're here. Even though it's a home game, it's why we're here to bring you Pierre Governor Baseball on the radio, and also that you can watch on your TV in a nice warmth and dry condition at your house, as their one is over for strike one here in the top of the 5th to Ray Bauer, who is 1 for 1, a single back in the top of the 2nd. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Bauer from McCullough. There's a swing and a miss, a curveball that had him fooled, and the count's now 0-2.
Yeah, the fans in the stands are much braver than I am at this point, because after having doing these games for 5 years with you, John, I've kind of become soft, as there's a strikeout there for McCullough for out number 1 here in the top of the 5th.
And that is strikeout number 4 for McCullough, as he had 3 through 3 innings. He is retired now 6 straight, make that 7 straight, as it's now Cooper Chase to the plate with nobody on and 1 out. Swing and a miss for strike 1. I would agree with you, too, that it's harder for me to sit in the stands and just and not call. Like, I'm not even a big fan of bleachers anymore. I've been so accustomed to having nice seats. As this one's fouled back, that one went off the window here. Almost came through the window at the. I would have been flying out with my hands to try and catch that line drive. It would have hurt, but I would have tried it. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Cooper Chase. There's a ground ball right back to McCullough. And he will step and throw. He had to be a little bit quick after he was nonchalant picking up that ground ball. And there's now 2 down here at the top of the 5th inning. And it brings up the top of the order in Darren Crooks.
It does look like the rain's kind of let up to some degree, or maybe even stopped here in the top of the 5th, as McCullough retired batter there for 2 outs here in the top of the 5th.
It's still kind of coming down here at Hyde Stadium, but not nearly as much. Well, I say that, and all of a sudden I start seeing more raindrops falling on the concrete here. Here's the first pitch to Darren Crooks. That one's fouled back for strike 1. That was pitch number 7 for McCullough after having a 4-pitch inning in the top of the 4th. This will be only pitch number 8 with 2 outs and nobody on here in the top of the 5th. McCullough from the windup will deliver the 0-1 pitch. That one's fouled at the mask of Sun and Shine, and Unfortunately, there can be no immaculate inning for McCullough with the fact that he had the ground out back to him, but he could get potentially 2 strikeouts on 9 pitches with 9 strikes right here. Here's the 0-2 from McCullough to Crooks. That one's fouled at the plate, and we'll do it again here at 0-2.
One of the things that's so tough about Brennan McCullough is he just changes up his looks. He can come at you after a windup, right away. He can kind of hold and wait before he delivers. He just mixes up his deliveries really, really well, and I think that throws a lot of hitters off.
Here's the 0-2. This is popped up. Will it be a chance for Sunshine to make a play? He'll get over, and he just can't make the catch. He slid, and he ended up hitting those bricks to the side of the padding behind home plate, but he was unable to make the catch, and it still remains an 0-2 count. That's a heck of an effort there from Sunshine to nearly make that catch right near the edge of play.
And also a nice job of, risk management there, too, of sliding before you hit the bricks.
0-2 kip pitch is going to be grounded over to Furman at short. The throw to first will be in time. Even though McCullough doesn't get the immaculate inning, he still throws nothing but strikes in that top of the 5th. As the Govs will get another 1-2-3 inning. Was a 12-pitch inning overall for Brendan McCullough, maybe 11-pitch inning. Either way, it is a 1-2-3 inning for McCullough, and we head to the bottom of the 5th with a 5-2 lead for Pierre over Spearfish. Back in a minute on KCCR, and you're watching it on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
When you're in the need for high-quality replacement auto parts, look no further than Zander Auto Parts and Machine Shop in Pierre. Zanders has been servicing the Pierre area for over 40 years. Their professional parts techs can get you the parts you need and get you back on the road. Stop by Zander Auto Parts and Machine Shop at 500 West Sioux in Pierre or call 224-9221. Zanders, your source for domestic and foreign auto parts and accessories.
When the South Dakota sun is beating down, your home should be your sanctuary. But a broken air conditioner can turn your living room into a hot oven fast. Whether you need a quick repair or a full system replacement, AirTech Heating and Cooling is on the job. Our licensed technicians are available 24/7 for those unexpected emergencies. We pride ourselves on 100% customer satisfaction and quality service you can trust. Call 605-945-0160. AirTech Heating and Cooling, locally owned and keeping the Pierre area comfortable for over 20 years.
As we welcome you back here in the bottom of the 5th inning, and the Pierre Governors have a 5-2 lead on the American Family Insurance Brittany Shufflebein scoreboard. It is Parker O'Brien, Alec Eilers, and Hudson Schaefer. That is 5, 6, and 7 here for the Governors in the bottom of the 5th inning. With a 5-2 advantage, as the first pitch from Tucker Olson will be down the middle for strike 1 to O'Brien, who's 0 for 1. He grounded back to the pitcher in the first inning and then hit by a pitch in the third. Brendan McCullough has thrown just 15 pitches in the last 2 innings, retiring the side in order both times. Here's a sharp ground ball over the shortstop. It is fielded. The throw to first is gonna barely beats O'Brien over at first base. And a good play there by Scharf. And the leadoff man retired here in the bottom of the 5th inning.
Yeah, nice play there by Scharf. Looked like he might be a little bit late on that because he kind of fielded that on his heels, but he had enough mustard on the throw to get it across the diamond and beat O'Brien by probably less than a half step for out number 1.
Alec Eilers to the plate. He is 0 for 2 so far. Reached on an air in the second, then grounded back to the pitcher in the third, as that one misses high for ball 1. Kind of feel like it's a major league game because every time there's a ground out or just a ball put into play, the pitcher gets a new baseball from the umpire. And I don't mean that as was a base hit back of the middle, as Eilers went right back up the middle, right over the top of the head of the pitcher and Tucker Olson. And Eilers is now 1 for 3 in the ball game, and it brings up Hudson Schaefer to the plate, as he is 1 for 2 with an RBI double back in that third inning. But again, it's not a complete new baseball, but they are throwing baseballs left and right out of the game to get dried up before they can go back to the home plate umpire. So pretty much every time a play is made, the pitcher is looking back as there's a pickoff attempt and back in safely. At first is Eilers. Pitcher's looking back at home plate to wait for that new baseball to come from the home plate umpire, which, again, makes it kind of feel like a Major League Baseball game. Here's the first pitch to Schaefer. That's over for strike one.
Yeah, there have been major leaguers back many years ago that played at Hyde Stadium, but I don't think they were even swapping out as many balls as we're seeing here tonight either.
Here's the 0-1 pitch from Tucker Olson to Schaefer. That one's at the knees for a strike, and the count's now 0-2. Hudson Schaefer looking for his third hit today. He's got 2 extra base hits in the triple in game 1 and a double here in game number 2. 0-2 pitch. That one's taken for strike 3. And there's now 2 down here in the bottom of the 5th inning. A 3-pitch strikeout of Schaefer, and it brings up Aiden Johnson out of the plate. Johnson is 0 for 1. He reached on an error in the second, came in to score that tying run for the Governors on the RBI hit from Hudson Stosher, and he also walked. As another pickoff and back in safely over at first is Alec Eilers.
Yeah, that last pitch there by Olson, nice curveball that just froze Schaefer for out number 2.
First pitch to Johnson. Started to go, checked his swing, but it's called a strike anyway, and the count's 0-1 here to Aiden Johnson. Again, if there's time remaining, we'll still have coverage of the NFL Draft after we're done on KCCR. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That'll be upstairs, and the count's now 1-1. Blake, where are they at in the draft right now?
They just finished up the second round.
We got plenty of time to get you to the third round of the NFL Draft. The Vikings take somebody good in the draft?
They took a player.
They took a player. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That one's a ground ball. That is going to be foul.
I can't tell you if he's going to be good or not.
And the count's now 1-2. That's the, I'm probably the humbug guy of the NFL Draft, but I just am never, other than last year when Graves Abel was about to be drafted, because I knew whoever was going to take Graves Abel was going to have a good NFL player.
Yep.
But, it's just hard to be overly excited or upset about taking a player unless it's just well known that it's not going to turn out well. Because, I watched a video last night of everybody getting mad when they drafted Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts and all these guys that have been franchise players. As this is a ground ball over to the first baseman. This is off of Sewell, and he'll be able to step on the bag to retire Aiden Johnson and end the inning here in the bottom of the 5th inning. No runs, a hit, no errors, and a man left on base. We head to the top of the 6th. It is still a 5-2 lead for Pierre over Spearfish. Back in a minute on KCCR. You're watching it on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
When life throws you a curveball, May Adam Law Firm in Pierre is here to help you knock it out of the park. For over 130 years, we've been providing trusted legal expertise in business, family law, criminal defense, and more. Proud sponsors of this season's baseball action, we're committed to serving our community both on and off the field. Need legal advice? Step up to the plate with May Adam Law Firm. Visit mayadam.net or call today. May Adam, South Dakota's law firm since 1881.
Building a home. It's the biggest investment most of us make in a lifetime. Not to mention, it's a decision that, well, you pretty much live with day and night. The quality of the workmanship stares back at you like a reflection. It also affects the value of your investment. Choosing the right contractor is critical. Kruger Contracting is that contractor. Call 222-2523. Quality workmanship and materials completed on time. Kruger Contracting. In a word, quality. Call 222-2523.
It is the top of the 6th inning, and Ryan Kruger enjoying a Friday night watching on YouTube at KCCR Sports. It is a 5-2 lead. He's enjoying the Governors, leading 5-2 right now for the Govs over Spearfish here in the top of the 6th inning as it's 2-3-4 for Spearfish. One of those former coaches for the Pierre Governors. We hear from Dirk Campbell all the time. Sometimes I wish I didn't hear from him because he always says, "Go Cubs." That pitch will come inside for ball 1.
That's so rude.
He laughed at it. Here's the 1-0 pitch from Brendan McCullough to Walker Wiesman. That's the first ball he's thrown since the third inning, actually since the second inning, or the third inning, excuse me. That'll be a fly ball to right center field, down for a base hit, and it is a single here in the top of the sixth for Walker Wiesman. So it ends the 9 straight retired by McCullough, and there is one on with nobody out here in the top of the sixth inning, and it brings up Jack Scharf, the shortstop, who is 0 for 2. After a 4-pitch fourth inning, it was a 11-pitch all-strike fifth inning for McCullough. This is popped up. As can a catch be made by Sonnenschein? He does make the catch. It stayed in play, and Sonnenschein is able to make the catch, and there's one down. That's a good foul-out grab by Sonnenschein. One down here in the top of the sixth inning.
Yeah, that's really tough there for Scharf, seeing one pitch and fouling it. Looked like it may have had a chance to get out of play, but a nice job by Sonnenschein of staying with it to retire him for out number 1 here in this bottom of the fifth.
Sean Sewell now to the plate.
Top of the sixth, excuse me.
That one will get to the backstop. It'll be a wild pitch that will move the runner up to second. So with it being a 5-2 ball game, still not the tying run that moves into scoring position, but Walker Wiesman is into scoring position here with one out and a 1-0 count here in the top of the sixth inning. Also, Dirk agreed with you. He said that was rude of you.
Yeah. Don't worry, Dirk. There's still at least one person in this press box that will sing your praises, regardless of if I care about the Cubs or not.
Here's a swing and a miss by Sean Sewell, and the count's now 1-1.
And spoiler, I don't. But
you don't care about Dirk, or you?
No, I don't care about the Cubs.
Okay.
I very much care about Dirk.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. This will be flown out to center field. Parker O'Brien is backing up. He'll make the catch. Runner will start to tag. The throw will come to third. They have got him out at third. The tag applied. He is out. And it is a double play to get out of the inning here at the top of the sixth. What a play from Parker O'Brien as he got underneath and made the catch. The throw to third. And an easy tag there from Lindekogel to retire the side on a double play. Make that 8-5 on the double play. And we head to the bottom of the sixth. No runs, a hit, no errors, and no one left on base. To the bottom of the sixth we go. A 5-2 lead for Pierre over Spearfish. Back in a minute on KCCR, and you're watching it on YouTube at KCCR Sports. Capital City Ford, Lincoln, and Toyota in Pierre is proud to sponsor today's game. Whether you're in the market for a brand new Ford, Lincoln, or Toyota, or a quality pre-owned vehicle, our team is here to get you back on the road in style. From tough trucks to family SUVs, we've got the selection you need and the hometown service you deserve. Browse online anytime at CapitalCityFordToyota.com. Capital City Ford, Lincoln, and Toyota, where community drives us forward.
Hey you. Are you at a job that is fulfilling, has good benefits to support you or a family today, and retirement goes down the road? If you just said no, listen up. CHS River Plains is hiring operations personnel, drivers, and custom applicators at several locations. These come with a knockout affordable benefit package for you and the whole family. Apply to a job with CHS River Plains and up your benefits straight up. To apply, visit us online at chsriverplains.com or stop in at one of our locations. CHS is an equal opportunity employer.
As we head to the bottom of the sixth inning, it is a 5-2 lead on the American Family Insurance Brittany Shuffleby scoreboard. Here, Governors lead it by 3 over the Spearfish Spartans, and it will be in the bottom of the sixth. Hudson Stosher, Will Danberg, Brecken Furman. 9-1-2 here for the Spartans. And then the seventh inning for Spearfish, unless the Govs score 7 runs here in this inning. They'll have 5, 6, and 7. Tucker Olson, Connor Johnson, and Tucker Wiesman. As the Govs are trying to get through this doubleheader and pick up 2 wins. Move to 14-4 on the season overall. As the first pitch is upstairs for ball 1. Right now the Governors are 9-4 in South Dakota games. The one hiccup in the standings right now is that the Brookings games have not gone into a total yet. Here's a fly ball coming, and off the glove, the left fielder will drop in, and Hudson Stosher is on to kick off the bottom of the sixth inning. That's a long run for Chase to come in. And it will be an error that will be charged to the left fielder and Chase. That's 1 on and nobody out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. And it will bring up Will Danberg, the top of the order. And I guess controversy is maybe the right thing or the right word to say. With only one certified umpire on Sunday's game, there is talk about maybe not counting those games, and I think they're going to have probably a full vote on all of that as the first pitch misses outside for ball 1 to Will Danberg. So right now the Govs are 9-4. They could be potentially getting 2 more wins, or not getting anything out of those. There's a fly ball to right field that will get down for another base hit. Stosher will have to stop at second. He had to hesitate to make sure the ball got down. Plus, with nobody out, you don't want to try and force that runner to third base. And it's now first and second here with nobody out, and it brings up Brecken Furman to the plate.
Yeah, nice job by the Governor's offense, bottom to top. As both guys get on to lead off this bottom of the 6th, and that puts Brecken Furman at the plate with nobody out and 2 runners on, maybe looking to lay down a bunt for the meat of the order.
Here's a bunt attempt that will miss low for ball 1. And the count is now 1-0 here to Brecken Furman.
Be interesting to see if they try that again, especially if first baseman crashes here in Sewell.
Here's the 1-0 pitch. That'll be bunted up in the air, and that will be landing foul. And the count's now 1-1. Make that 2-1.
They'll still get an opportunity to probably try that with only 1 strike. Will Furman here, but maybe he'll look to put it down the third baseline if he's got the opportunity to do so rather than punching it right at Sewell, who's going to come crashing in again.
Here's another bunt attempt right down the third base line. They will let it roll, and it will be foul by just an inch or so. And it's now a 1-2 count.
Good bunt down the third base line. Just pulled it a little bit too much, did Brecken Furman. 1-2 count now to him, and he's got a chance to swing the stick here with nobody out and runners on first and second. Be interesting to see where they put the corner infielders, and I think Sewell's actually going to play in front of the bag here, and Bauer on the far side on third base is going to play even with the bag here with 2 strikes.
2-strike pitch to Furman. That'll be a floating shot. That's going to get down for a base hit, and it's going to make it bases loaded, but instead it was dropped by the center fielder. The throw will come to the plate, up the line, and it will be a run scoring for the Governors to make it a 6-2 lead here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Crooks dropped it in center field after he went to field the ball, and Stosher was off with the pitch, and as soon as Coach Rowie saw that on third base, he immediately started sending Stosher to the plate. That throw went up the line from Crooks, not on line, and Stosher scores another insurance run for the Govs to make it a 6-2 ball game here with nobody out. And now the meat of the order comes to the plate as the catcher in Sutton Sun and Shine steps into the right-handed batter's box.
So first and second, that'll be a swing and a miss for Sutton Sun and Shine. A base hit that was had for Brecken Furman. 0-1 pitch. There's a ground ball to the right side. It'll be a chance for 2, but instead no chance to turn to as the second baseman couldn't get the ball out of his glove. And then back over to third base, they throw it, and Danberg's over there standing back up, and it ends up being a ground out by Sun and Shine 4-3. And there's now 1 down here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
And Spearfish is going to bring all of their infielders in, now being down 4, excuse me. But Trip Lindekugel's got a chance to crack this game wide open with a base hit to make it an 8-2 ball game and a 6-run lead for the Govs going into the top of the 7th if he's able to get this one past the drawn-in infield of the Spartans.
This will be fouled back by Lindekugel for strike 1.
Rain's starting to come down a little bit heavier now here at Hyde Stadium.
We don't have our center field camera anymore, and I think that's mostly, I believe maybe the electric generator is finished out, or maybe the rain is kind of cutting the line of sight overall. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That one's over for a strike, and the count's now 0-2. That's what I'm going with, though. Hoping that
I hope that's the case.
Nothing got ruined in the first time that we have a center field camera, and we end up getting it all ruined by the time it's all said and done.
This equipment's not cheap, ladies and gentlemen.
The count's 0-2 here to Trip Lindekugel. 0-2 pitch. That one's off of Lindekugel at the plate, and the count remains at 0-2. Which, by the way, we will forego the post-game show break, and we'll go right into the post-game show and quickly end things in the top of the seventh after the game is over, hopefully after the top of the seventh inning. And then we'll start to get you ready for tomorrow here with a 1 o'clock first pitch against Rapid City Central. Here's a ground ball. Danberg will have to wait. The throw to first will be in time, so no chance for Danberg to score. And there's now 2 down here in the top, at the bottom of the 6th inning, with runners still at second and third. And it brings up now Parker O'Brien to the plate. So 6-3 on that ground out. O'Brien, who is 0-2 with being hit by a pitch. He's got a chance to get his first RBI here in this ball game. Govs have scored in every inning except for the 5th. 1 run in the 1st, 3rd, 4th, and now 6th, with 2 runs scoring in that 2nd inning. They're threatening to try and put a crooked number up here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Yeah, Park can get into one here and get a couple more RBI on the board to probably give him the team lead if he's able to do that. Put one in the outfield here with a 1-1 count here and 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th.
Runners are at second and third here with 2 away. Here's the 1-1 pitch from Tucker Olson. Here's a ground ball over to the third baseman. He will field. The throw will go to first, and that will retire the side as Bauer makes the play. It will take us to the 7th inning. A run does score in the inning. 2 hits, an error, and 2 men left on base. We head to the 7th, a 6-2 lead for Pierre over Spearfish. Back in a minute on KCCR, and you're watching it on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
Is it the competition that keeps bringing you back? The long-standing rivalries? Or is it seeing friends again and cheering on your favorite team? At First Dakota, we're here for it all. We appreciate the fans, the players, the coaches and officials, the concessions crew. The shared community experience is part of what makes life here great, and we're here for it. See you at the game. First Dakota National Bank, member FDIC.
For over 60 years, Ferding Electric has been powering homes and businesses across central South Dakota. When you need reliable electrical service, trust the experts with decades of experience. Whether it's a simple residential repair, a complex commercial installation, or even electrical work on your farm, Ferding Electric has you covered. And if you're tired of searching everywhere for that hard-to-find bulb, Ferding Electric carries a wide selection of bulbs, including those hard-to-find fluorescent and specialty options. Visit us at 2903 East Elizabeth Street or call today, 605-224-8684.
As we welcome you back, it is the top of the 7th inning, and it is a 6-2 lead of the American Family Insurance Brittany Shufflebine scoreboard. And for the Spearfish Spartans, it is going to be 5, 6, and 7. Tucker Olson, Connor Johnson, and Tucker Wiesman. He might reach his base. It'll go to Bray Bauer. Here's the first pitch. That one is popped up right side. That one's going to get out of play, though, and no chance for a play to be made. For strike 1. Again, after we're done here with this game, no post-game break. We'll go right into our close and get you to draft coverage and get out of here while it's still raining here at Hyde Stadium. This one will be popped up on the right side. It's going to be a long run coming in foul territory. No one's going to get there. It lands foul, and the count's now 0-2. Long run for Stosher, Johnson, and Eilers will all try and make that play. And the count is at 0-2, and a chance for a strikeout here for Brennan McCullough, as he is looking for strikeout number 5 on the ball game, if he can get that 5th strikeout here. And the Govs are looking for win number 12 in a row. They fell to 2-4 after they lost the doubleheader to Mitchell, and have not lost since then, as that one is upstairs for a ball, and the count's now 1-2.
Yeah, McCullough's done a nice job. Both starting pitchers for the Govs have done really, really well here in this doubleheader. Danberg in game 1 and now McCullough in game 2.
1-2 pitch has popped up. That'll be foul. That will get out of play as well. That'll be pitch number 74 from McCullough right there. So he still has 31 pitches to work with here in the top of the 7th inning. Danberg win a complete game, allowing just the 1 earned run. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, and there is strikeout number 5 for McCullough. 1 down here at the top of the 7th. And it brings up now Connor Johnson, who had the tying RBI in the top of the 2nd inning before Tucker Wiesman, who's on deck, had the go-ahead RBI. Made it a 2-1 lead for Spearfish in that top of the 2nd inning. But that's all they had. That's all they've had to this point. Pierre quickly took the lead back, 3-2 in that bottom of the 2nd inning, and the only time the Govs ever trailed coming to the plate was in that bottom of the 2nd at any point today. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That one's fouled back, and the count's now 1-1. If there is any change to tomorrow, we'll let you know as soon as we find out. It would have to be fairly early or late morning, early morning, late morning, mid-morning, because at 1 o'clock start, you're thinking, Rapid City Central's got to leave pretty early in the morning to get here, and you'd rather make that decision before they take off, as that one is high and outside, and the count's now 2-1. So if there's any change, we'll let you know, but otherwise we'll be on the air at 12:45 tomorrow afternoon, and a 1 o'clock first pitch here at Hyde Stadium between Pierre and Rapid City Central. 2-1. That one's grounded foul, and the count now is at 2-2, and McCullough looking for his 5th, make that his 6th strikeout of the ball game. Just 1 walk so far, 4 hits. Both of his runs have been earned. This will be pitch number 80 of the day for Brennan McCullough.
How can they find that information, John?
2-2. Swing and a miss. Sun and Shine will have to throw it to first. And that will be on the money, and there is now 2 down. And an out away here for the Governors. Will be on our Facebook page. Will be the easiest way to find it quickly. Will be on the Facebook page. I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah.
And if there is any, we may be able to post it to our website, but the biggest thing will be checking our Facebook page. And then also, 12:45 rolls around. If we're on the air or have a YouTube video ready to go, we'll still have the game. But otherwise, if not, then you also know that we won't, if you're planning to come here, of course, be checking our Facebook page if there would be any change to it. I think the way the weather was looking that we should be able to not have to worry about rain so much into tomorrow's game. Here's a ground ball to Brecken Furman. He will field. The throw to first is going to be in time, and that is a doubleheader sweep for the Pierre Governors as they beat the Spearfish Spartans 5-2 in game number, make that 6-2 in game number 2. That time of the ball game in game 2 was an hour and 37 minutes. The Governors will win it 6-2 in game 2. They got an RBI in the first inning from Sun and Shine, RBI from Hudson Stosher that tied the game 2-2 before he was brought in by an error. An RBI double for Hudson Schaefer in the 3rd, an RBI for Sun and Shine in the 4th, and the Govs picked up another RBI for Brecken Furman in the 6th. And it's a 6-2 win for the Pierre Governors over the Spearfish Spartans. Brennan McCullough goes the distance, giving up just 4 hits, 2 runs, only 1 walk, and then with 6 strikeouts on just over 80 pitches of work. Both he and Danberg get complete game not shutouts, but complete games in the win for the Pierre Governors over the Spearfish Spartans. That'll wrap things up for us here from Hyde Stadium. I want to say thanks to Sydney Carlson back at the station. John McClear here signing off. The Governors will win it 6-2 over the Spearfish Spartans in Game 2 with a 2-1 win in Game 1 as we say so long from Hyde Stadium.
On KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports. Pierre Baseball is brought to you by Kathy Sunshine Properties, Kruger Contracting, Bank West, Overhead Doors, Stalkin Peterson LLP, Shane's Pharmacy, Capital City Ford, Lincoln, and Toyota, American Family Insurance Brittany Scheffelbein Agency, CHS River Plains, Dakota Plains Federal Credit Union, Ferding Electric, Pierre Closets, Dakota Sprinkler and Landscaping, and AGE. Pierre Baseball is also brought to you by Edward Jones Financial, Gales Gas, Lamb Motors, Xander Auto Parts, Comtech, First Dakota National Bank, Envirotech, Kruger Climate Systems, May Adam, Hunsley Auto Body, Oahe Federal Credit Union, Cone Egg, AirTech Heating and Cooling, Pierre Roofing and Gutters, Wagner Auto, the South Dakota Office of the Attorney General Division of Consumer Protection, and Todd's Electric. Join us all season for more Pierre Baseball on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports. This has been a